Good afternoon, my friend, and welcome to Attica High School as we're getting ready for a Genesee Region League softball matchup today between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zaller. This is a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports production, and this is the Ken Barrett pregame show brought to you by Ken Barrett Chevrolet and Cadillac on West Main Street in Batavia. Find new roads at Ken Barrett. So we got an interesting matchup here today between the 9-0 Hornets and the 3-5 Blue Devils. Let's start talking about Attica, and don't let that 3-5 record deceive you. This has been a very scrappy team in pretty much every game they've been in. Just going through their season so far this year, you look at some of the losses, they've all been relatively close. They lost 7-5 to a Gates Chi-Li team. That's a double-A team they played, and Attica only being Class B2. They lost 1-0 to an excellent Caledonia Mumford team. They only lost 7-3 to a really good Lindenville team. And then they have some good wins, 14-2 over Wheatville Chi-Li, 9-8 over Notre Dame, a team without a good record, but a team that's better than their record might show, and an 18-0 win over Byron Burgeon. Now, this is an Attica team that, the 3-5 record might not make you think much, but this is a team that has been competitive in most of their games, and they've shown that they can play with just about everyone they go up against. They went 7-11 last season and beat Marcus Whitman in the first round of sectionals before eventually losing to eventual champion Wellsville in the second round. Now the Hornets of Oakfield, Alabama, they're 9-0 on the season. They're the number one ranked team in the state in Class D. I was actually talking to Coach Schlagenhoff a little bit about that before we got started here on the broadcast. And, that ranking's something that teams don't take too much stock in, like it's a nice accolade to have. But certainly, he said, it's something we got to prove on the field every time we play. And but they're 9-0, and they are ranked by the state ranking board as the number one ranked Class D team in New York State. They went 14-2 last season, lost 5-0 in the Class C2 title game to Bolivar Richburg. This year they got the bump down to Class D1, and certainly are an early season favorite to win that Class D1. And listen to some of these results: 10-2 win over Lindenville, 14-0 win over a good Elba team, 16-0 over Byron Burgeon, 18-4 over a good Elba team, 10-2 over a very good Leroy team, 13-4 over a good Pembroke team, and 23-2 against a very competitive Kendall team. This is a team that they can bat around the order, and certainly it's a very well-constructed team, well-constructed roster. So we're ready to get things going here. In the circle today for Attica is going to be the junior pitcher, Haley Mills. And batting first here for Oakfield, Alabama will be their pitcher, a sophomore number 2, Savannah Durham. On the season, Durham's batting .467 with 1 home run, 2 triples, and a dangerous base runner with 4 stolen bases on the season. So Durham steps into the batter's box, and we're ready to play ball here from Attica High School. Mills gets set in the circle. And first pitch on the way. Misses inside. No catches inside for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. All right, just check the broadcast. Everything sounds good. So, Durham, the pitcher on this team, has been dangerous in the circle all year for Oakfield, but certainly at the plate, no slouch either, batting .467 on the season. Second one gets in there for a strike, and the count's quickly 0-2 on Durham, and now Durham's going to have to be aggressive here in the batter's box and protect the plate. Mills, a very good pitcher. Last season as a sophomore, she was impressive. Some good velocity, has about 3 different pitches she can throw consistently. And Mills, certainly one of the better pitchers in the GR. And here's the third pitch, and she gets Durham looking, and that's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up to the plate now Chloe Lamb for the Hornets. Lamb plays out in left field, only a sophomore as well, batting a ridiculous .724 on the year. I mean, that's video game numbers right there, .724. Mills set in the circle. First pitch on the way to Lamb. Misses inside. The count goes to 1-0. No, catches the inside, and the count goes to 0-1. I will say I'm a little bit off to the side here, so I don't have the greatest view of home plate, but the count is 1-0. Mills set in the circle. And the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be popped up, going to go behind home plate, and that's past the railroad tracks here at Attica High School. The softball field at Attica High School is backed by the railroad tracks over I-238. And I've actually coached softball a couple years ago, and sometimes a train goes by in the game, and it gets very loud here. So trust me, if there's a train that goes by today, you will hear that. Count is 0-2. Mills ready in the circle. 0-2 on the way. Misses outside, and the count will go to 1-2. Yeah, Lamb batting .724 on the year. That's 5 doubles. Certainly a lot of pop in that bat. Lamb is a girl that Oakfield has batting second for a reason. They like to get her on base early and often. Mills ready in the circle, and that one's going to be hit right up the gap in the middle of the field. Lamb's going to reach first, and they'll hold her up there. That is a 1-out single for Chloe Lamb. That one was hit right past Mills in the infield. That'll bring up to the plate now for Oakfield Allison Harkness, number 10, playing third base, only a sophomore. Harkness batting .482 on the year for the Hornets. Also a very good basketball player for Oakfield, Alabama. She was on that team that made the sectional title game this year. I think I gave her a couple T.F. Brown Player of the Games in basketball, and she's just as good of a softball player as well. First pitch to her, she's going to foul off past the railroad tracks. Count will go to 0-1. And this is just an Oakfield batting order that, they're 9-0, ranked number 1 in the state, all the accolades, but they seriously can bat around the entire order, and it's so hard to get any out that I'm sure Attica's feeling good they got that first out. Now if they can find the second. Mills is set. The 0-1 offering on the way. That one is well hit in the right field. It's going to drop barely foul right of the line, and the count will quickly be 0-2. That one would have been a little blooper base hit for Harkness if it stayed fair, but it just went right of the foul line. So the count will be 0-2 with one out here in the top of the first inning. Score is 0-0. Mills ready in the circle. And the 0-2 offering on the way to Harkness. Harkness holds off on that one, and for good reason, a little bit outside, and the count will go to 1-2. Back to the point about Mills as well. Mills is a very good pitcher, and I've some of what I heard, I haven't seen her play this year. I saw her play last year. I've heard she's made big strides since last season. And this is why this Attica team, despite the record, is kind of dangerous because they have some of the better pitching in the Genesee Region League. Here's the 1-2. That one's going to be popped up, going to go out of play, and the count will stay 1-2. Yeah, Mills is a pitcher that certainly Attica has a lot of trust in. They believe they can win any game with her in the circle. And that's going to be a tall task today, obviously against an Oakfield team that, they have just chewed through opponents this year. But if Mills can be on her A game, they could certainly make this game interesting here today at home. Here's the 1-2. That one misses inside. Runner's going to go. Lamb into second base safely with the steal. So now there will be a runner in scoring position for Harkness with a 2-2 count. On deck for Oakfield will be Rain Denny, the second baseman. So now a runner on second base and Lamb does have wheels. That is Lamb's fourth steal of the season. Mills ready in the circle. The 2-2 pitch on the way, and that one is hit right to shortstop, and trouble with fielding it. Pump fakes, throws to first, and not in time. Runner safe. Lamb's going to go for third. She's safely into third, and Oakfield has runners on the corners with one out here in the top of the first inning. Yeah, that was hit right over to shortstop by Harkness, and Elmore had a little bit of trouble. She stopped it, but just couldn't quite get it cleanly into the glove, and by the time she made the throw to first, Harkness was able to beat out the throw, and Lamb wisely, during that process, ran to third base. Now runners on the corners, as that will bring up Rain Denny, the second baseman, to the plate for Oakfield. Got to watch Harkness to steal here, certainly, with a runner on third and an open bag at second with one out. First pitch on the way to Denny. Harkness is going to go, and they're just going to throw to third and keep Lamb honest, but Harkness does get credited with the steal. She's safely on second base. And for Harkness, that'll be her third steal of the year. Denny on the year, batting .481 with 10 RBIs, a speedy runner, has 4 triples on the season. Certainly some pop in the bat of the cleanup hitter here for Oakfield. 1-0 count. That one catches the outside corner of the plate, and the count will go to 1-1. Mills, I will say Mills in this game has been on. Her pitches have been where she's wanted him to go, but Oakfield's just such a good hitting team. Anything you throw in the strike zone, Oakfield has a chance to make contact with it more often than not will. The 1-1 offering on the way. That one's going to be hit into the backstop by Denny, and the count will move to 1-2. I will say to Mills' credit as well, she has gotten ahead in these counts here in this first inning so far. She's just had a hard time finding that third strike. And as I mentioned, Oakfield obviously so good at hitting. It's always going to be hard to find that third strike against such a disciplined batting group. Here's the 1-2 on the way, and she got her to swing at one high there, and Denny goes down swinging. And that'll bring up to the plate now the freshman shortstop, Emma Thompson. So there's 2 outs, runners on second and third, no runs on the board. Big at-bat here in the top of the first inning. Thompson's batting .600 on the year, leads the team with 16 RBIs, and she has 2 ducks on a pond over on second and third. First pitch to her. catches the top of the plate, and the count goes to 0-1. So 0-1 count with 2 down here. Chance here for Attica to escape this inning with no damage done if they can retire Thompson. The 0-1 on the way. That one misses outside. And good job behind home plate by Allison Hendershot, the catcher for Attica, keeping the runners honest on the base path. Mills awaits the call from Hendershot. Gets it. Gets set in the circle. And the 0-1 pitch on the way. That one's going to be popped up by Thompson. It's going to go over the railroad tracks, and the count will be 1-2. Attica 1 pitch away out of getting out of a little bit of a sticky situation here in the first. Looks like we might be out of balls right now. There has been like 4 balls hit over the railroad tracks, and I think there's usually only like 5 game balls, so I think there's waiting on one to come in. Looks like one did. And all right, so 2 outs, runners on second and third, 1-2 count. No runners scored yet for Oakfield. And Mills going to try to get Attica out of a sticky one here. Last at bat, she got Denny with something high on the same count. Let's see if she goes high. Mills set in the circle. The 1-2 offering on the way goes low, and it's going to get past Hendershot. Here comes the runner from third. Lamb will score, and Harkness will advance to third base. And the count will go to 2-2. So Oakfield leads 1-0 here in the top of the first inning on the passed ball past Hendershot. That was a little bit of a low pitch. It was in the dirt from Mills, and Hendershot just could not corral it there. Looks like they might be without a ball again. They do get one in. So the count is 2-2. Now a runner on third. Mills. It's ready in the circle. And the 2-2 offering on the way. And that one is swung on and foul tipped. Thompson barely got a piece of that with the top of the bat. And the count will remain 2-2. Umpire going to take a moment to clean off home plate. It's got some clay on it. But it's a 2-2 count. Runner on third base. Scores 1-0 Oakfield here after a run scored on a passed ball. And here we go. Mills ready in the circle. And the 2-2 offering on the way. That one misses inside, and the count runs full. Once again, Thompson, a really solid batter for Oakfield, batting .600 on the year, which is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous she's batting .600, and it's ridiculous that doesn't lead the team at second to Coley Lamb, .724. Mills is set. And the payoff pitch on the way. That one misses inside. That will get past Hendershot. Harkness is going to score from third, and Thompson will advance to first on the walk. So it's 2-0 Oakfield here in the top of the first inning. Runner on first, 2 outs. And that'll bring up to the plate now Allie Williams, the first baseman. Williams, a junior, batting .250 on the year with 4 RBIs. Williams also another one of those really good Oakfield basketball players. Was, I believe, the leading scorer on the team. She wasn't the leading scorer. She was second on that Oakfield team that made the sectional title game in basketball. First pitch misses inside. Thompson thinks about going. Hendershot keeps her honest, and she'll walk back to first. Yeah, I want to tell Coach Schlegenhoff, it must be fun coaching at Oakfield this year. He coaches the girls' basketball team and the softball team, and so far, as here's the 1-0 pitch on the way from Mills. That one is fouled off, and the count will go to 1-1. I want to tell Coach Schlegenhoff, man, but between the two teams on the season right now, they are 34-1. The basketball team went 25-1, and the softball team's 9-0 right now. And if you're an Oakfield girl athlete that's on both those teams, you've not had to deal with the pain of losing a whole lot this year. It's a 1-1 count, and that one misses high. Runner's going to go. Throw down to second base is not in time. Thompson safe with the steal. And good throw from Hendershot, but Thompson just got a pretty good jump there on the steal, and she's safely at second. So that puts a runner into scoring position for Williams. And Hendershot's going to call time here, and she's going to go visit Mills out on the mound. Looks like the whole infield's going to come in and have a conversation here. So Attica, this does not involve the Attica coach. This is just a player-only meeting out in the circle right now. I don't think I got to mention it earlier, but Attica is coached by Lauren Kocher. And as I mentioned on the year. 3-5, but they've been competitive in just about every game they've played. This has been a frisky Attica team. Actually kind of hit their stride a little bit recently, I'd say. They're 2-1 over the last 3 games, defeating Wheatland, Shiloh, and Notre Dame. They took a 5-1 loss to a good Alexander team, but this is an Attica team that they play with pretty much everyone that they play. So here's the pitch to Williams. I believe the count is 1-1. That one misses outside. It does get past Hendershot. Runner will advance to third, and Thompson's now standing on third base. So a runner just, I always want to say 90 feet away, but this isn't baseball. I believe it's more like 60 feet away in softball, maybe a 45, something like that. Runner on third base regardless. 2-1 count. Mills set. Here's the 2-1. That one gets in there right down Broadway for a strike, and the count's evened up at 2-2. I've always said I think softball's a more fun sport to watch than baseball, especially at the high school level. It's a little bit more action-packed, the smaller field, the bigger ball. I've always found this to be a funner sport than baseball in high school. I love high school softball. Here's the 2-2. That one's fouled off by Williams, and the count will remain 2-2. But yeah, that's a little bit of a controversial opinion too. I played baseball, my buddies played baseball, obviously, but I think there's more action in softball. It's just a more fun game. I think it would be more fun to play myself. Mills set. Here's the 2-2. That one swung on and missed. Williams goes down swinging, and that's the third out of the inning. So in the top of the first inning, Oakfield scored 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, and left 1 runner on base, and they lead 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. We're going to take a 60-second timeout on WBTA. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
Wheatville Blacksmith Tree Service for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding. They do good work. Wheatville Tree takes pride in every job and leaves your yard clean. In fact, you will hardly even notice that they were there, except the tree is gone. With the all-access lift, Wheatville Tree can get to some jobs the other places can't. Wheatville Blacksmith Tree Service. Call 356-0980. Make that problem tree history.
There are 2 things you learn quickly growing up in a small town. The importance of a good last name, and that a good reputation is not freely given, but earned and built over time. It's a rare thing to have the opportunity to build on the legacy of one of those great names, and we couldn't be prouder to share it with you. Turnbull Heating and Air is that great name, and we are determined to make it the most reliable and trusted name that you can turn to when it comes to the peace of mind and comfort of your home. So give us a call today and allow us the privilege to earn your business the way that you deserve. And remember, in every season, turn to Turnbull.
See Turnbull.
And welcome back to Attica High Schools. We're here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the the home Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zaller. This is a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports Production. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Oakfield leads Attica 2-0, and we'll get our first look on the mound of Oakfield's all-star right-handed pitcher, Savannah Durham. And Durham, she's only a sophomore for this team. She played last year as a freshman, too. I've seen her play once, and I've heard a lot of good things about her, and it'll be interesting to watch her here. Batting first for Attica will be the freshman center fielder, number 7, Laurel Cias. And the first pitch on the way to her catches the bottom of the plate, and the count will go to 0-1. But yeah, Durham, a lot of velocity, a lot of different pitches she can throw, very good control. This is a pitcher that is definitely in contention to win GR Player of the Year. So the 0-1 is going to be fouled off into the railroad tracks. Looks like a couple of dads have made camp up there on the railroad tracks as they are just snagging balls up there. But yeah, she's certainly in contention for that GR Player of the Year this year, and for good reason, an excellent pitcher. Here's the 0-2, and that one's going to be hit right over to second base, fielded, throw to first in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Over at second base, that's Rain Denny who made the throw. And there's one down here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up to the plate the freshman catcher, Allison Hendershot. And it's the first 2 batters are freshmen. This is a pretty young Attica team as well. Only 2 seniors on the roster, only one of them starts. And certainly a younger, Oakfield's kind of young too, but Attica's as well. So, one down, and that'll bring Hendershot up to the plate here. Lamb set, And that one's going to be hit right over to Denny at second base. Makes a diving catch, throw to first in time for the second out of the inning. Denny fell to a knee and got off balance, somehow made that throw to first base on a knee. And there's 2 down here on 3 pitches in the bottom of the first inning. That'll now bring up the pitcher, Haley Mills, to the plate. Mills, a junior. I mentioned how good of a pitcher Mills is, but at the plate she's pretty darn good as well. Can really hit the balls. A hard hitter, gets a lot of velocity off the bat. First pitch to her, catches the inside corner of the plate, and the count will go to 0-1. Durham awaits the call from her catcher. Catching today for Oakfield will be Isabel Schrager. The 0-1 on the way, misses high, and the count goes to 1-1. You know, softball, there's something called a rise ball that doesn't exist in baseball because you just can't physically possibly do it in baseball, but with the underhand throwing motion in softball, you can twist the ball in the right way to kind of get it to rise up at the end of the throw. I think that's what Durham just threw there, but got a little away from her. That one's fouled off into the backstop, as I'm sure you heard, with my microphone in the backstop, and the count is quickly 1-2 here against Mills. So a 1-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the first inning for the Blue Devils. Mills awaits the pitch, Durham ready in the circle. The 1-2 offering on the way. That one swung on and missed, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So, in the bottom of the first inning, Attica scored no runs on no hits, no walks, no errors. Oakfield leads 2-0. Don't turn that dial. We'll be back in 60 seconds right here on WBTA.
T.F. Browns in Batavia knows that today's children are tomorrow's future. So from the days of Little League all the way to high school, T.F. Browns supports all areas of athletics and academics. Supporting our children gives them the confidence they need to become successful members of our community. Encouraging our children can make all the difference in the world to them. T.F. Browns, supporting our community the way the community has supported us.
When it's time to think about a pre-owned car or truck, it's time to visit Ken Barrett's Chevrolet Cadillac. Ken Barrett has the finest selection of locally owned trades and hand-picked auction vehicles, always priced below Kelley Blue Book. You should expect that from your dealer. To help you make that purchase possible, their expert staff specializes in securing the most favorable financing terms available. Ken Barrett's Chevrolet Cadillac, West Main Street, Batavia, 344-1000, and on the web, KenBarrettAutos.com.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High Schools. We are here in the top of the second inning in a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield Alabama Hornets and the Attica Blue Devils. Here in the top of the second inning, Oakfield leads 2-0 over Attica, and due up at the plate for Oakfield to be the 7, 8, and 9 batters, the first of those being the sophomore catcher number 7, Isabella Schrager. On the year, Schrager batting .272 with 4 RBIs and 2 doubles. So, Mills on the circle, or in the circle, rather. And the first pitch on the way, that one just misses inside, and the count will go to 1-0. And, you know, for Attica, that was a solid first inning. Just a couple of passed balls there really are what allowed Oakfield to score runs. But overall, if you're Attica, you can't be too dissuaded by the way you played in the first. Just got to clean that up a bit. 1-0 on the way. That one misses inside as well. A little bit low maybe, too, and the count goes to 2-0. If you're Attica, I don't think you hate the way you played that first inning. I think you're just saying, all right, we got to clean it up a little bit, and you know, we'll be okay. Here's the 2-0. That one is hit down the right field line, and it's going to go out of play. And the count will move to 2-1. You know, we started this game, and it was nothing but blue skies here. There are some very, very dark and gray, ominous clouds coming in from the Batavia area. If you're in Batavia right now, if you're listening, shoot me a text. Let me know if it's raining in Batavia right now. The way those clouds look, I have a feeling it might be, and hopefully it stays away from us here at Attica High School. So Mills ready in the circle with a 2-1 count. Waits the call from her catcher. Here's the 2-1 offering. That one catches the outside corner of the plate, and the count is evened up at 2-2. Nice job by Mills battling back after getting down 2-0 in this at-bat. So it's 2-2. Nobody out, nobody on here in the top of the second inning. And that one swung on and missed, and the catch is dropped by Hendershot, throws down to first in time, and the strikeout will stand. As If you're not too familiar with the rules of baseball and softball, if the third strike is dropped and there's nobody on first base, the runner can attempt to advance, and that's exactly what Schrager did there. But nice job by Hendershot recovering and get the throw in time. So that'll bring up now for Oakfield the right fielder, a junior, Emma Moeller. On the year, Emma's batting .304 with 3 RBIs and 3 stolen bases. First pitch to her is fouled off into the backstop, and the count will go to 0-1. Moeller also on that basketball team. She is a solid player on that basketball team. I believe she was like the maybe 7th or 8th girl off the bench, that's not a hack at anyone. That team is so good they have 10 players that could start for a lot of teams. Mills is set, the 0-1 on the way. Moeller shows bunt, lays it down, and it's going to be fouled off behind home plate, and the count will be 0-2. So with an 0-2 count, I doubt we'll see her bunting here, as she's going to have to protect the plate and swing at anything close. 1 down here, nobody on, top of the second inning. Bottom of the order here for Oakfield. Mills is set, and the 0-2 on the way. That one's going to be fouled off, and the at-bat will stay alive. Count still 0-2. It's got to be, just a blast whenever you coach a team and we're talking about the bottom of your order. And in the bottom of your order, in the bottom 3 batters, you have 2 girls batting over 300. That is a rarity, to say the least. Mills is set. The 0-2 on the way. That one's going to be popped up into the railroad tracks, and the count will stay 0-2. Those dads corralling balls over on the railroad tracks are staying busy today. I hope they're getting paid with a hot dog or something. Mills is set. Doesn't like the call from Hendershot, gets a different pitch. And here's the 0-2 on the way. That one's going to be popped straight up. Mills calls the defense off, gets under it, and she makes the catch. And that'll be the second out of the inning. There was a collision there a little bit. I saw her call, but the first baseman, Corinne Orlowski, must not have heard Mills. And nonetheless, though, Mills was able to make the catch even though her and Orlowski collided. And that's the second out of the inning. So that brings up the 9 batter for Oakfield, their extra player, number 3, Tori Davis, a sophomore. Mills is set in the circle. First pitch on the way to Davis, misses inside. No, it caught the inside corner, and the count goes to 0-1. Once again, I don't have a dead-on bird's-eye view right here, but that one did catch the inside corner. So the count's 0-1. On the year for Davis, she's batting .277 with 4 stolen bases. Here's the 0-1 offering on the way. That one's hit right back at Mills. It gets past her, and that will sneak into the outfield. And that is a 2-out single for Tori Davis. So that will now bring up the 10 batter for Oakfield, Alabama. And that is Riley Denny, number 32, a center fielder, a junior on this team. Denny batting .381 on the year with 3 stolen bases, 6 RBIs. Mills ready in the circle with a runner on first base. And the pitch on the way. That one misses inside, and they're going to send Davis. She's safely into second base. That one got past Hendershot, and the count will be 1-0. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here for Oakfield, and the top of the order due up. Be a big out here for Attica to retire Denny, the 10 batter. Mills is set. And the 1-0 on the way. That one swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. You might be listening and being like, what the heck? What do you mean, the 10 batter? And in softball, you're allowed to have an extra player, so you can have up to 10 batters in the order compared to baseball with 9. It's a little bit of a difference here between softball and baseball. Here's the 1-1. That one's going to be a little lollipop, but it's going to get down into center field, and that will score Davis from over at second base. That will be a single for Denny, and she's safely on to first base. So that was an RBI single for Riley Denny. And it was just a little lollipop hit into the outfield, but it got down, and that did score the runner from second. So now that brings up the top of the order here for Oakfield. Savannah Durham, the leadoff hitter, will be up with a runner on first and 2 outs. As I mentioned earlier, Durham on the year, batting .467 with 9 RBIs. Mills gets ready in the circle. And that one catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 0-1. Hendershot taking explicit note over at first base of Riley Denny. Denny is a dangerous base runner. She has 3 stolen bases on the year. Mills is ready in the circle. And the 0-1 here. Runner's going to go. Throw down to second. Is it in time? No, she got underneath the tag. The throw was in time, but Denny got underneath it. And that will be a steal for Denny. She's over at second base. So now a runner in scoring position for Durham. Durham went down looking at her first at-bat. So Mills gets ready in the circle with 2 outs. I believe the count is 1-1. I could be mistaken. The 1-1 misses inside. And no, that caught the inside corner, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So Durham goes down looking for the 2nd time. And in that inning for Oakfield, they got 2 hits, scored 1 run, and left 1 runner on base. They lead 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. We're going to take a 60-second timeout here on WBTA. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Are you looking for collectibles? How about equipment or building materials? Planning to relocate or unsure what to do with an estate? Bontrager Real Estate and Auction Services, they're here to help. Family owned and operated since 1935, they host over 100 auctions every year, anywhere from central New York to the PA border. Bontrager also offers full-service real estate as well as real estate auctions and estate sales. Visit bontrager.com for all their upcoming events and services.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, go to Chaps Alba Diner, where everything is homemade. They take pride in making everything fresh, from their homemade pies like apple cherry, red raspberry, to their open-faced Reuben and juicy 12-ounce New York strip steak. You can count on homemade goodness. Stop in today and enjoy all the great food at Chaps Alba Diner. Takeout available. They are located on Main Street in Alba, and everything is homemade.
And welcome back to Attica High School here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zauer. This is a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports Production here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Oakfield leads Attica 3-0. At the plate right now for Attica is their 4-hitter as she goes down 1-1 in the count. That's Alyssa Elmore, the shortstop, a junior, number 24 for Attica, as she's the cleanup hitter for the Blue Devils. Get our first look at her of the game. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be hit over to shortstop, fielded, and Thompson throws to first to Williams in time, and that'll be the 1st out of the inning. That was a nice throw from the shortstop, Emma Thompson, and there's 1 down here. And that'll bring up to the plate now the 5-batter, number 6, Lily Scripp, the 3rd baseman, a sophomore here for Attica. Durham, she's been pitching to contact. Attica's been putting the ball in play, but the defense has been strong behind her. That pitch misses low and in the dirt. The count will go to 1-0. I'll tell you, there's a lot of wind right now here at Attica, and it feels like it's coming in towards the backstop almost, so the girls are hitting into the wind right now, I believe, which certainly isn't going to help the batters at all. The 1-0 is going to be swung on and missed, and the count will go to 1-1. With 1 out here. Durham working efficiently so far on the circle. Here's the 1-1 offering. That one's going to be fouled off into the backstop, and the count will be 1-2. So it's a 1-2 count. Nobody on, 1 down. And Durham gets the call from Schrager, and she's ready for the pitch. Set in the circle. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. That one's going to be hit right back, and that's going to sneak into the outfield for a base hit. Attica's first of the game. It was hit just a little bit outside where Durham could reach it, and it snuck past second base into the outfield. So that's a 1-out single for Lily Scripp, and that will now bring up the junior first baseman, number 15, Corinne Orlowski, to the plate for Attica. So Orlowski with a runner on first, looking to make a little noise here for the Blue Devils. Durham's first pitch on the way is going to be hit right to second base. Denny fumbles it, flips it to first. It's in time. They do get the out at first. However, that will advance the runner to second base. So, nonetheless, it's a sacrifice, if nothing else, for Orlowski. And that will advance Scripp over to second base. So, runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and that will now bring up to the plate the 7-batter, the right fielder, number 18, Lily Hodges for Attica. Durham ready in the circle. And first pitch on the way. That one's going to be fouled off. That was a missile down the first base line, but it's going to go into the fence. And if she could straighten that up, she'd probably score a run. So it's an 0-1 count with a runner on second base and 2 outs. Hodges awaits the pitch. Durham gets set on the mound. And the 0-1 offering, that swung on and missed, and the count's quickly 0-2. Just a little late on that one, Hodges was. But now with the count being 0-2, Hodges will have to protect the plate here and swing at anything close. Durham gets the call from Schrager. And here's the 0-2. That one's going to be hit to short. Fielded by Thompson. No, gets past the glove. Runner from second's going to go home. Throws in. Here we go. Schrager, and they're going to get her in a rundown, and the runner Scripp will get back to third. And in all the confusion, that did allow Hodges to advance to second base. So, and now we're going to get a mound visit here from Coach Jeff Schlagenhoff. He wants to have a word with Durham in the defense. And yeah, that play was hit right to short over at Thompson. It wasn't the easiest play, but just a little wide of the glove. Thompson couldn't quite get the glove on it and snuck into the outfield. And certainly a good throw in. I believe that was from center field, and that's Riley Denny in center field. Got the throw in, and I thought for certain that Scripp was going to score on that. However, they kept Scripp from scoring. They got her back to third base. In all the confusion, though, Hodges did hit a single but was able to advance to second base. And now runners on second and third with 2 outs here for Attica. And they have their 8th hitter in the order due up. And that is Rachel Ricketson, the second baseman, the lone senior in the starting lineup here for the Blue Devils. And they could use a senior moment here from Ricketson with 2 runners in scoring position. Durham's pitch going to be fouled off, and the count will be 0-1. It's only the bottom of the second inning, but Oakfield leads 3-0. Attica's doing a nice job hanging around, but they certainly want to take advantage of this early opportunity in the game to put some runs on the board. Durham set. Here's the 0-1. That one misses high, and the count will go to 1-0. Durham very composed in the circle, too, I'll say. Runners in second and third, but she looks as stone cold as she's been this whole game. Does not seem intimidated at all by the runners. Here's the 1-1. That one catches the inside, and the count will be 1-2. So it's a 1-2 count at Durham, a strike away from getting out of this trouble here in the bottom of the second inning. Ricketson wants to put the ball in play. Could score 2 runs if she does. Durham, here's the pitch, misses high, and the count will be evened up at 2-2. Nice job behind the plate by Schrager from keeping that one from getting past her, as if it did, it certainly would have scored a run. 3-0 Oakfield leads. Durham set on the circle, and the 2-2 offering on the way. Swung on and missed. She got her to swing, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So Durham gets out of the trouble there, and Ricketson goes down swinging. And Attica, off of 2 hits, will leave 2 runners on base, and Oakfield still leads 3-0 as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. We're going to take a 60-second timeout here on WBTA. Don't turn that dial. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
More and more pizza lovers have been making their way to Cinquino's Pizza. Not only do they use the freshest ingredients and make dough fresh daily, they also employ the best pizza makers in town to create a more consistent dining experience. Visit cinquinospizza.com for a menu, daily specials, or to place an order online. Cinquino's Pizza, subs, wings, and pasta for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. Cinquino's Pizza. I know a guy.
Need insurance? No problem. Call or stop by Donahue Insurance on Vine Street in Batavia. Richard Donahue will answer the phone, and if you stop by, Richard will be happy to meet with you. You will get personalized service at the best rate. It's a well-known fact that Richard will also make house calls. No fancy gimmicks, no quick sales talks, and no stuffed shirts. Only the insurance you need at a cost you can afford. Go with someone you can trust. Richard Donahue at Donahue Insurance in Batavia. Phone 343-5604.
And welcome back to Attica High Schools. We are here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zaller. This is a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports Production. And this is brought to you by Ken Barrett Chevrolet and Cadillac on West Main Street in Batavia. Here's Lamb with a hit out to right field, and it's going to be caught for the first out of the inning. That's Chloe Lamb, who was due up, and that one's going to be a pop out to right field, making the catch over there. In our right field was Lily Hodges for Attica. This is brought to you by Ken Barrett Chevrolet and Cadillac, though, on West Main Street in Batavia. Find new roads at Ken Barrett. So that'll bring up to the plate now Allison Harkness, who walked in her first at-bat for Oakfield. Mills ready on the mound, or in the circle, rather, I should say. First pitch on the way. That one is going to be a dribbler, but it's fair. Mills tries to field it and cannot get it in time, and it essentially ended up being a bunt. It was just a ball that Harkness chopped and just fell right in front of home plate halfway between Mills and Hendershot, and Harkness was able to advance to first base on it. So that will be credited as a single to Harkness. That'll bring up Rain Denny to the plate, the junior second baseman, who in her lone at-bat today went down swinging. And the first pitch on the way to Denny misses inside. Hendershot up and active, keeping Harkness honest over at first base. And Mills, still good control up to this point in the game, I will say. Certainly been impressed with the way she's pitched up to this point. And here's the 1-0. That one misses. The count will go to 2-0. That one missed high. And, I talked once again, Oakfield is ranked by the New York State sports writers as the #1 Class D softball team in the entire New York State, as in the sports writers, they think Oakfield's the favorite to win states, is what they're saying with that. As here's the 2-0 on the way. That one's going to be hit into shallow right field. It will get down for a base hit. Harkness going to be held up on second, and Denny will stop at first. That is a single for Rain Denny. And that'll bring up the 5 batter, Emma Thompson, the freshman shortstop for Oakfield, who hit a single in her first at-bat. Thompson batting .600 on the year. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here. Top of the third inning. To the point I was making about Oakfield, though, I talked to Coach Schleigenhoff a little bit about it before the game. He was very modest. Most coaches will be. The rankings are something that they don't take too much stock in, and for good reason. In reality, the rankings are made by probably a lot of people that have never seen them play, but I think given the way Oakfield's dominated a tough schedule, the way they have played up to this point in the year, the deep batting order they have multiple good pitchers. I really think that they are deserving of that #1 ranking, and this is a team that I not only expect could win the sectional championship, but this is a team I think that we will be broadcasting some games in Binghamton where the state tournament is held. Mills ready in the circle with an 0-1 count here to Thompson. 0-1, that one's going to be hit. Goes over to second base. Nice play, and they cannot get the out there. Let's see what the umpire says. Denny. So that ball was fielded over there by the second baseman. That's Rachel Ricketson. She kind of had to slide, fell down. And by the time she got up, Rain Denny had advanced to second base, and Thompson advanced to first base. So that will be an error against Ricketson. That'll bring up Allie Williams, the first baseman, to the plate now with the bases loaded and nobody out. Williams struck out, swinging her first at-bat. That one's going to be hit softly down the first base line. Here's the throw home. It's in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Nice play over there by the first baseman for Attica. That is Orlowski over at first base, and that's a heads-up play. She knew to send that one home and didn't tag her own, got the out at home and saved the run for Attica. So now bases loaded with 1 out here. And that'll bring up Isabella Schrager, the catcher, who went down swinging her first at-bat for Oakfield. Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch to her, misses high. Count goes to 1-0. If you're just tuning in, top of the third inning. And Oakfield leads this game 3-0. But Attica, to their credit, they've gotten themselves in some pickles here, but they have continuously fought their way out of it this game. But this is a tough one with the bases loaded. 1-0 count. That one swung on and missed, and the count will go to 1-1. Oakfield has Rain Denny on third base, Emma Thompson on second base, and Allie Williams on first base. With just 1 out here. Mills ready in the circle, 1-1 count. 1-1 pitch on the way. That one catches the inside corner of the plate, and the count will go to 1-2. Nice pitch location there from Haley Mills. So a 1-2 count. And a big pitch here. If they could retire this batter, they would put the pressure completely on Oakfield to make something happen. Mills, 1-2. That one's going to be popped up a little. Nope, that's going to go right in the middle of the railroad tracks. And the count will stay 1-2. On deck for Oakfield is the right fielder, Emma Moeller. With the bases loaded, You got to be careful, too, here if you're Schrager. You can't hit it to second base or short. You'd be in danger of hitting into a double play. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be fouled off. That one goes across the railroad tracks, and the count will stay 1-2. And, yeah, once again, those dads up on the railroad track staying active today. As that's a little bit of a hike to go get those balls over there. You got to walk up a little bit of a hill. Mills is set. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. That one's hit softly down the third base line, and the ball is going to be fumbled over at third base. That was Scripp, just because she had the ball in her hand. It looked like the transfer from the glove to the hand. She just could not make it cleanly. And that will be credited as an error to her. And Oakfield does score a runner, and that will be Schrager safe over at first base. So 4-0, Oakfield leads, bases loaded, 1 out. And for Attica, it does look like Coach Kocher is going to make her way to the circle and have a little bit of a pep talk with her team here. But if you're Attica, I mean, you've kept this game competitive. You know, we'll talk about some of the scores from Oakfield this year, right? I mentioned them in the pregame show. But on the year, you know, they beat a solid Notre Dame team 17-0. They beat a good Lindenville team 10-2. They played Alba twice, and they won both those games, one 14-0, the other 18-4. They beat a really good Leroy team 10-2. They beat a good Pembroke team 13-4. My point being with these scores is Oakfield has obliterated their competition. If you're Attica right now, you're hanging around in this thing, and certainly – nothing to hang your head about here, but obviously they want to win this game. And with it being 4-0 and the bases loaded, that I think Coach Kocher recognized that this is a big spot here for her team. And with the bottom of the order for Oakfield, they really need to get the outs now. They can't let this get too out of hand. So that brings up Emma Moeller to the plate, who popped out to the mound in her first at-bat. Bases loaded, 1 out. Mills set in the circle. That one's going to be fouled into the backstop, and the count will move to 0-1. And I've continued to be impressed by Mills in this game. Mills, she has good velocity, but just her control. She really has some of the better control out of all the pitchers I've seen in the GR. She can really put the ball wherever she wants it. She can go inside, she can go up top, she can go low, she can go outside, and good command here. It's just against such a good hitting team like Oakfield, it's a tough task. That one goes inside, and it just missed. And the count will go to 1-1. Emma Thompson on third base for Oakfield right now. That would be the next runner to score if Moeller could put the bat on the ball here. 1-1 count. That one misses high, and the count will be 2-1. I will let you know, too, the weather. It is completely gray skies here now. It looks like blue skies out as you head out towards maybe, I think that's Java way, but it's all gray skies Batavia way. Here's the 2-1. That one's going to be fouled off down the first baseline, and it'll drop foul, and the count will be evened up at 2-2. Once again, this is the 8th batter for Oakfield. They do have 10 batters in their order, which you can do. You don't have to have 10 batters, but you're allowed to. Attica only has 9 today. Oakfield has 10. And if you're Mills, I really think 8 and 9 are where you want to get those 2 outs. Even the 10 batter for Oakfield, I think they kind of use her as almost like a second leadoff hitter. She's very good. Here's the pitch on the way to Moeller. That one's hit right back to Mills, just past the glove. She can't hit to it. Runner from third will score. Here comes the runner from second, Williams. She'll score, and that will advance Emma Moeller to second base. So Moeller gets over to second base, and over at third base will be a pinch runner for Oakfield, whose name I didn't get. That is going to be Brooke Schramm, who entered the game for the catcher, Isabella Schrager. So 2 runs do score, and that will make the score 6-0. Hendershot's going to go visit Mills in the circle. And, for Lamb, that was just hit right up the middle, just past the glove of Mills, got into the outfield, scored the runners from second and third to make this thing 6-0 Oakfield. And that will now bring up to the plate the 9 batter for Oakfield, Tori Davis, the extra player. In her first at-bat, Davis singled. Mills ready in the circle. Long pause. And the pitch is on the way. That one gets the inside corner for a strike, and the count will go to 0-1. And, so once I want to mention, too, that we have Schramm over on third base. She is courtesy running for Schrager, and essentially what that means is in softball, you can use a courtesy runner for your pitcher and catcher. As the 0-1 misses low, the count will be 1-1. But yeah, at any point for your pitcher and your catcher, you can put in essentially a pinch runner. And it's called a courtesy runner, and it looks like Coach Schlagenhoff did that for his catcher, Schrager. Mills is set with the 1-1 count. 1 out, runners on second and third. That one catches the outside edge, and the count will go to 1-2. Davis batting .277 on the year. And hasn't had a lot of RBIs, but she has a nice chance at 2 here with runners on second and third. Mills ready in the circle. And here's the 1-2 offering on the way. That one's going to be hit into the backstop, and the count will stay 1-2. You know, it can be frustrating as a pitcher whenever, you're hitting your locations, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but you're just not fooling the batters for the other team. And I know the score is 6-0, but I do believe Haley Mills is pitching a good game right now. It's just she's facing an elite hitting team here. Here's the 1-2. She tries to go high. That will get past Hendershot. Runner from third is going to score, and the runner from second will advance to third. So Schramm scores from third base, and that will move, I believe that's Mueller, over to third now. And I believe that does run the count full. So it'll be a full count. Mills is ready. And the pitch on the way. That one's going to be hit hard and deep into center field, and that will get just past the glove. 1 run's going to score, Mueller. Here goes Davis. She's going 2. Davis is going 3, and Coach Schlagenhoff's going to stop her at third, and that will be a triple for Tori Davis. For Davis, that's her first triple of the season. And she absolutely belted that one to center field. And you could see over in center field, it looked like Cias she tried to get the glove on. She made a good attempt at it, but she dove and it just got past the glove. And now Coach Kocher is going to make her way into the circle, and she's going to have another talk here with her team, her second mound visit of the inning. And I think she might be making a pitching change here, waiting to see what she's going to do. And, yeah, it does look like she's going to bring in her left fielder. So that will be it on the day for Mills. Once again, Mills, I thought, pitched a fine game today. She was hitting her spots. Just unfortunately, Oakfield was hitting the ball pretty good everywhere she put it. And they are going to make a change. And I don't think that's a detriment. I don't think that's Coach Kocher saying that she thinks Mills pitched poorly. I think it's just rather she wants to save her arm here for some more games down the week here. And it does look like they are bringing in I believe that is the left fielder, number 8. That might be number 9. That is number 9. That is Tessa Dominici. I will get that right in a moment. My apologies. But, yeah, they're going to bring in the left fielder. It's only an 8th grader. And, a good chance here for her to get a little action against the Oakfield, a very good hitting Oakfield, Alabama team. Tell you what, though, she's going to get some warm-up pitches in. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in a few moments on WBTA. Oakfield leads 8-0.
You see it everywhere, sold by GeraceRealty.com, family owned since 1956. Customer satisfaction in buying and selling homes has always been our priority since day one, and your satisfaction is what Gerace Realty is all about. The time to list your home is now, with inventory at an all-time low. Find out what your home is worth with a free market analysis. We're here for you at GeraceRealty.com, serving all of Western New York.
At the Golden Coin Dry Cleaning and Laundromat, they have dryers that will dry your clothes fast. They also have newer dryers for your heat-sensitive garments. Plus, they do repairs on shoes, purses, leather bags, and so much more. Don't forget, they have same-day wash and fold services available and a professional dry cleaning service. You can get all this with free coffee, free Wi-Fi, television, a comfortable sitting area, and a knowledgeable and friendly staff. Visit the Golden Coin Dry Cleaning and Laundromat on Main Street in Batavia.
And welcome back to Attica High School. Pete Zauer, WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy. We are here in the top of the third inning where Oakfield, Alabama leads Attica 8-0 in a Genesee Regional League softball matchup. Attica has just made a pitching change. They pulled their starter Haley Mills, and they have brought in the 8th grade pitcher, number 9, who originally was playing in left field, Tessa Dominici. And Dominici is a right-handed pitcher, and she's going to get a good test here against a very good hitting Oakfield team. Up at the plate right now for Oakfield's their 10 batter, Riley Denny, the center fielder, is batting .381 on the year. Denny's first at bat, she hit a single. So Dominici in the circle, getting some good experience here, and I'm sure that's what Coach Kocher wants to do here, is just get her some reps. Denny swings and misses, and I believe the count is 2-1 now. And it does look like they put Mills over at first base now. Originally at first base was, I'll figure this all out here, was Orlowski. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside, and the count's going to go 3-1. So originally over first base for Attica was Orlowski. And it's hard to say. It looks like Orlowski might be in the outfield now, either in the outfield or no. It looks like she's in left field. I think they sent Orlowski to left field and Mills to first. Here's Denny on the 3-1. That one's going to be hit just past the shortstop's glove. Will sneak into the outfield, and they'll score the runner from third base. And that was an RBI single for Riley Denny, her second hit of the game. So that's top of the order now for Oakfield. That'll bring up Savannah Durham, the pitcher, the sophomore, who's batting .467 on the year, 9 RBIs, 1 home run with 2 triples. Very good batter. First pitch on the way to her. Swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-1. Very good batter, but things have not gone her way in this game so far. She's gone down looking twice in her 2 at-bats. With a runner on first. Scoreboard says 2 outs. I thought it was 1. I could be mistaken, though. We'll go with the scoreboard. We'll say there's 2 down here in the top of the third inning. And this pitch catches the inside corner, and the count will go to 0-2. So now Durham's going to have to protect here. With an 0-2 count. Dominici trying to get her team out of this inning and into the bottom of the third. This pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and Durham goes down with a strikeout for the 3rd time this game. And that will do it for the top of the 3rd inning. So, in the 3rd inning, Oakfield scored, I believe, 5 runs on a bunch of hits, and they lead this game 9-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We're going to take a 60-second timeout here on WBTA. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 3rd inning.
At Kolb Family Auto, we understand that life can throw you a curveball. That's why we offer free towing across Genesee County, so we can help make your tough times just a little easier. Family and veteran owned since 2022, we're committed to honest, reliable service. Whether it's general repairs, maintenance, or fluid film undercoating, we've got you covered. Call Kolb Family Auto today at 343-6891 and let us take the stress out of your hard times.
Leroy Village Green is a proud supporter of high school sports. Listening to the big game is a tradition in small towns and at Leroy Village Green. Leroy Village Green has been providing exceptional care to families, friends, and neighbors for over 40 years. So if any of you parents or grandparents are in need of short-term rehabilitation after a surgery or illness, contact Leroy Village Green. They would love to introduce you to their wonderful, caring staff so you can see for yourself what makes Leroy Village Green so special. Visit LeroyVillageGreen.com for more information.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High School. My name's Pete Zauer. This is a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports Production. We are here for a Genesee Regional League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. Score in the bottom of the 3rd inning is 9-0. Attica is up to bat, and at the plate is the 9 batter, the 8th grade, started in left field, but is now pitching, Tessa Dominici. First pitch to her is a strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. That pitch catches the outside corner. It's 0-2. I want to mention, too, that this is the bottom of the 3rd inning rundown brought to you by Marchese Computer Products at 220 Ellicott Street in Batavia. Marchese Computer, your total business solutions provider. 0-2 pitch on the way from Durham. Swung on and missed. She got her to chase one high. And that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the order for Attica as they're going to look to try to chip into this thing here. And that'll bring up Laurel Cias, the freshman center fielder for the Blue Devils. Cias grounded out to second base in her first at-bat of the game. First pitch to her catches the outside edge, and I'll tell you, Durham has gotten better as this game's gone along. She was perfectly fine out of the gate, not saying she started slow or anything, but, I mean, if she did start slow, she's certainly got it figured out now as she has picked it up here as this game has gone along. Here's the 0-1, got her to chase high, and the count will go 0-2. Durham pitching really well. 0-2 count. Durham ready on the mound. Or in the circle, rather. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, and that's the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the freshman catcher for Attica, number 23, Allison Hendershot. And Hendershot's first at-bat, she grounded out to second base as well. Durham locked in right now. 2 down, nobody on. Bottom of the third inning, Oakfield leads 9-0. First pitch is going to be fouled off, and that'll go out of play. The count will be 0-1. Durham gets the call from her catcher, Schrager. Durham's ready in the circle. And the 0-1 on the way. And that one's going to be hit right back towards Durham. She fields it cleanly. Throw to first is in time, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So quickly, Oakfield gets 3 outs in the bottom of the third inning, and that will bring up Oakfield once again in the top of the fourth inning, where we are going to see Oakfield have their top of the order due up. We are going to take a 60-second timeout. We'll be right back on WBTA.
Are you turning 65 soon? Do you have Medicare or need help through the Medicare process? Call Clarity Group Medicare Plan Center. With 23 years of experience, I will help find a plan that will give you everything you want and need. I am Lisa Giancarlo, one of the founders of Clarity Group. Stop by our Batavia office or call for an appointment. 716-864-4886. That is 716-864-4886. Clarity Group knows Medicare because Medicare is all we do.
Hey man, where'd you get your haircut?
I go to the local barbershop.
Which local barbershop?
The local barbershop.
Well, what's the name of the shop?
The local barbershop. Listen here, Junior. Are you tired of your boss giving the promotions to the other guy?
Yeah.
Are you tired of your lover not being satisfied?
Yeah.
Are you tired of hating what you see in the mirror?
Yeah.
Well, I've got the place for you, brother. 466 Ellicott Street, Batavia. For the best cuts and trims in town, you've got to go to the best shop around. Call 585-483-3060. The local barbershop.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High School. We are here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. Top of the fourth inning, Oakfield, Alabama leads Attica 9-0. Due up for Oakfield to be their 2, 3, and 4 batters, starting with Chloe Lamb, the left fielder, on the game. She's 1 for 2 with a single on the season. She's batting a just asinine 724 with 13 RBIs and 5 doubles and 4 triples. Certainly a contender for Genesee Region League Player of the Year. There's a couple girls on Oakfield that are in contention for that. Lamb certainly is in contention for that. And they, with her team leading 9-0, the magic number is 12. If Oakfield goes up by 12, that would be the run rule. That one's hit straight up by Lamb. Getting underneath will be the catcher, Hendershot. She makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Nice job by Hendershot getting her glove on that. 1 down as Lamb goes down. That will now bring up Allison Harkness, the third baseman, who on the game has walked and hit a single. On the season, batting .482 for Harkness, the excellent basketball player for Oakfield. Also a pretty darn good softball player. Dominici, who has entered the game in relief of Mills, ready in the circle. First pitch to her goes high, and it gets into the backstop. That'll be a ball. That one just went over Hendershot's head. Not a lot Hendershot could have done there. 1 down, nobody on. Top of the fourth inning. Dominici set. And that one's going to be hit right to second base, fielded cleanly, throw to first in time, 2 down here in the top of the fourth inning. Nice play over there at second base by the second baseman, Rachel Ricketson. That brings up now the cleanup hitter for Oakfield, Rain Denny. Denny's 1 for 2 on the game with a strikeout and a single. On the season, Denny batting .481 with 10 RBIs and 4 triples. Dominici gets set in the circle. Waiting the call from Hendershot. And the first pitch to Denny, swung on and missed. The count will go to 0-1. Good crowd here, I will say, too, for a varsity softball game today. It's getting chilly. As the skies get darker, it's getting chillier out. I'd assume it's in the high 40s right about now. It's definitely not warm. It's certainly not miserably cold either, though. 0-1 on the way. That one just misses a bit high, and the count will go to 1-1. As if you're just tuning in, Oakfield leads this game 9-0 in the top of the fourth inning. It's been a good effort here from Attica, but Oakfield has gotten a decent lead. That one's going to be popped up. Hendershot's going to chase after it, but it's going to go out of play, and the count will go to 1-2. If you're just tuning in as well, Oakfield is ranked the #1 Class D team in New York State by the New York State Sports Writers, and they've been on a warpath this year. They have pulverized everything in their path, and here today, they're looking to keep that trend going. Dominici in the circle. Awaits the call from Hendershot. Gets it. Quickly set. And into the stretch. The 1-2. That's going to roll on the dirt right to Hendershot. And the count will be 2-2. Counts 2-2. 2 outs. Dominici can find a good one. She can get Attica out of this inning with no further damage done. The 2-2 on the way. That one's going to be hit right to short. Fielded cleanly. Throw to first in time for the third out of the inning. Nice play over there at shortstop by Attica's shortstop. That is Alyssa Elmore. So in the top of the fourth inning, Oakfield, Alabama scored no runs on no hits, no walks, and no errors. Oakfield, Alabama leads 9-0. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. We'll be right back on WBTA.
Is your current computer tech only putting sloppy Band-Aid fixes on your most pressing IT problems? If so, then it's time to make a change to Marchese Computer Products. Marchese Computer Products specializes in security and technology solutions for small and medium businesses. They guarantee to make technology easy for you and take the burden of IT issues off your plate so you can concentrate on growing your business. Call 343-2713 to see how Marchese Computer Products can help your business prosper with tailored IT solutions.
Merrill Lynch of Batavia is a proud sponsor of high school academics, arts, and athletics. Children are our most precious commodity. Investing in our children and encouraging them to pursue their dreams can make all the difference in the world, both now and in their future. Your local Merrill Lynch office, neighbors, and friends, committed to supporting our community and high school academics, arts, and athletics.
And welcome back, my friend, to WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy. Pete Zaller here at Attica High School for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. Bottom of the fourth inning, it is Oakfield, Alabama with a 9-0 lead. Attica's going to look to cut into that as they have their 3, 4, and 5 batters due up at the plate. First pitch is a strike to their 3-batter Haley Mills. Mills started the game in the circle for Attica, now playing over at first base. In Mills' first at-bat, she went down swinging. Durham, who's pitched an excellent game, ready in the circle. That pitch is swung on and missed. Good location. And I'll tell you, Durham has some nice velocity, too. The ball just snaps out of her hand. And she's really able to get a lot of velo on those pitches. Really can put them wherever she wants. That one just put it right under the bat of Mills. 0-2 pitch. Tried to get her to chase something high. Mills was not fooled, and the count goes to 1-2. 1-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning. Durham ready in the circle. And the 1-2. That one misses inside, and the count will go to 2-2. And with 2 strikes on Mills, that was a bold call to lay off of that one, but the bold call pays off as it was a ball. So it's 2-2. Durham offering on the way, swung on and missed. Mills goes down swinging. That's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter for Attica, Alyssa Elmore, the shortstop, a junior on this team. And Elmore's lone at-bat of the game. She grounded out over to shortstop. And Elmore awaits the first pitch. Durham, ready in the circle, got her call from Schrager. And that pitch on the way. And the count will go to 1-0 as that one missed. So a 1-0 count with 1 out here, as Elmore is looking to get Attica on the board in this game. And that pitch is going to be swung on and missed, and the count will go equal 1-1. Yeah, Attica did threaten to put some runs up. It was the second inning. They were down 3-0. They had runners on second and third. However, they could just not quite drive those runs home, and ever since then, they really have not threatened much of anything. I don't know if they've had a runner on base since then. The 1-1 pitch misses high, and the count will go to 2-1. Gotta say, they have a really beautiful field here at Attica. I like where it's located. As I mentioned, you got the railroad track in the background. You have the Attica rodeo sign, some nice forestry in the background. Here's the 2-1. That one swung on and missed, and the count is evened up at 2-2. But yeah, just thanks to Coach Kocher, and thank you to Athletic Director Jeff Kuzmano for accommodating us here today. They're always very accommodating here at Attica. Love doing any game here, baseball, softball, football, basketball, whatever it may be. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way from Durham. That one just misses a little bit low. Good pitch location. Elmore didn't bite, and the count runs full. So full count. Haven't seen a lot of those for either side this game. Durham is ready in the circle. Payoff pitch on the way. That one's going to be hit down the third base line. That's a fair ball. That'll be a base hit. Elmore gets a single. Let's see if she goes 2. She won't. She'll hold up at first base. And that is a 1-out single for Alyssa Elmore. That'll bring up the 5-batter Lily Scripp to the plate. Scripp, the third baseman, and her first at-bat, she hit a single. And certainly batting fifth in the order, a lot of power in Scripp's bat if she can get the barrel on the ball. So runner on first and 1 out. Durham ready in the circle. And the first pitch on the way to Scripp. That one swung on and missed. And the count will be 0-1. Elmore, by the lead she's taking over at first base, I can kind of tell that she might be a dangerous runner over there, and that's something that Schrager behind home plate is going to have to pay attention to. Here's the 0-1. That one misses low, and Elmore thought about going. She didn't. And she'll be holed up at first. And the count is 1-1. If she was going to go on one, that probably would have been a good one to go on. Durham ready. And here's the 1-1. That one's hit softly down the third base line. Fielded by Harkness. Throw to seconds in time. And oh no, they say Denny pulled her foot off the bag. And they're going to call the runner safe at second base. So runner safe. Coach Legenoff didn't like that call, but they call her safe over at second. And so, yeah, it was fielded cleanly by Harkness. She made a throw over to Rain Denny, who was covering second as the second baseman. And Denny had to hop up to get it. It looked like she landed on the base, though. I don't know if they're saying Elmore beat her out or if they're saying that Denny missed the base. I don't know what the umpires are saying, but they're calling Elmore safe there, and the call's going to stand. She's going to be safe on second. So with 1 out, that'll put runners on first and second as Elmore was able to get safely over to second base there. And I guess the error technically will be credited to Denny. So that'll bring up the 6th-batter, Corinne Orlowski, for Attica now. In her lone at-bat, she had a sacrifice hit. Orlowski started in first base. She's going to lay down a bunt, it looks like, misses on the bunt attempt. And the runners will be shored up at first and second base. So 2 down, runners on first and second base. And Orlowski, who's now playing in left field after starting the game on first, at the plate with an 0-1 count. Durham set. Orlowski shows bunt, gets it, but it's going to be popped up into the backstop, and the count will move to 0-2. So it's an 0-2 count with runners on first and second. Orlowski's not going to be able to bunt anymore with 2 on her. And Orlowski's going to have to protect anything close here. And I kind of anticipate we might see something high from Durham. Might try to get her to chase after the bunts. Here's the pitch from Durham. Goes in low. She does swing. It's dropped. But doesn't matter. There's someone on first base. So that is the 2nd out of the inning. And that will be a strikeout swinging for Orlowski. So now 2 down. And that'll bring up the 7th-batter, Lily Hodges, the right fielder. Hodges hit a single in her lone at-bat of the game. Has runners on first and second. And if she could get this into the outfield, there's a good chance she could score the speedy Elmore from second base. Durham ready in the circle. And the first pitch on the way. That one swung on and missed. The count will go to 0-1. Second time this game we've seen Attica threaten with some runners in scoring position. Both times with 2 outs on them. Can they take advantage this time? It's the bottom of the 4th inning. Oakfield leads 9-0. Durham ready in the circle, and that one misses inside, and the count will go to 1-1. 1-1 with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Durham, the 1-1 offering on the way, catches the outside corner of the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. The count will go to 1-2. I gotta say, Durham, too, her velocity, it's kind of sneaky because she's not a very big girl by any means. I guess she's probably like 5'4", but she is able to produce a lot of velocity for such a small girl. Here's the 1-2. That one swung on and missed, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So Hodges will go down swinging, and that will get Oakfield out of a little bit of trouble. So Attica, on 1 hit and 1 walk, will leave 2 runners on base, and they will still trail Oakfield 9-0 when we come back from the 60-second timeout on WBTA.
Lamb Farms, located in Oakfield, is a local farm that cares about the community and portrays a positive image of their business and the dairy industry. They also strive to efficiently and economically produce high-quality milk while maintaining a great atmosphere for their employees, the community, and of course, their cows. Good luck to both teams today. Lamb Farms on Albion Road in Oakfield is a proud supporter of high school athletics and academics.
Got an unexpected injury or an upcoming surgery? Premier Genesee Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation is the place to go for aftercare. The staff at Premier Genesee will assist you in regaining your independence so you can return home. Sports injury, knee replacement, stroke, heart attack, wound care, or care for chronic conditions like diabetes, COPD, and heart failure. Our capable staff will be by your side throughout your recovery. Call the admissions coordinator at Premier Genesee today at 585-344-0584 or check out the website at premiergenesee.com.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High Schools. We're here for a Genesee Region League matchup in softball between the Oakfield Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zaller. This is WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy. And we are here, top of the 5th inning. Oakfield leads 9-0. They have their 5, 6, and 7 batters due up, starting with the freshman shortstop, Emma Thompson, number 8. Thompson in this game is 1 for 2 with a single and reached on an error to second base. Thompson batting .600 on the year. Dominesi, who came in relief of Haley Mills, in the circle for Attica, and on the first pitch she hits Thompson, and Thompson will get to take her base after she is hit in the calf by that one. So they'll put a runner on first base with nobody out for Oakfield, and that will bring up the first baseman, Allie Williams, to the plate. And for Oakfield, they are 3 runs away from the run rules, and as we are in the 5th inning, if they can go up 3 and retire Attica's side, Oakfield could win the game this inning if they can score 3 runs here. First pitch on the way to Williams. That one's popped up straight behind home plate. And that one goes out of play. It looks like that may have caught the catcher, Hendershot. So we're going to take a moment here, as that one may have caught her in the mask a little bit. I tell you what, while they sort this one out here, we're going to take a quick 30-second timeout on WBTA. We'll be right back.
Salmon Orthodontics provides the most up-to-date, state-of-the-art orthodontic treatments like Invisalign and clear braces. A beautiful smile enhances your self-confidence, self-esteem, and opens up life opportunities. They have multiple offices throughout Western New York for optimal convenience. Visit them at salmonorthodontics.com to begin your journey to a better life. Salmon Orthodontics proudly supports the Batavia Blue Devils.
And welcome back here on WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy. And looks like Hendershot's going to stay in the game. I don't know. I don't think the ball caught her. That one was popped up straight past home plate. I'm thinking maybe on the swing, Williams maybe caught her with the swing and the face mask. It looked like she was kind of grabbing her nose there, Hendershot was. Obviously has catcher gear on, but it seemed like she had some pain to the face, so I don't know if she got her bell rang a little bit with the bat or whatnot, but she's going to stay in the game. She appears to be okay, and that's certainly good to see here. So a runner on first, nobody out, and an 0-1 count for Allie Williams, who's due up at the plate here for Oakfield. And Tessa Dominesi in the circle for Attica after relieving Haley Mills. Here's the 0-1 on the way. Williams shows bunt, pulls it back. Runner's going to go. Thompson into second base. She's in time with the steal. And for Emma Thompson, that is her 5th stolen base of the season. She had 1 earlier this game. And now there's a runner in scoring position for Allie Williams. I did not catch if that was a ball or a strike, but there was it's at least one strike right now on Williams. She tried to lay down the bunt. I don't know if she got that bat back in time. Dominesi gets ready in the circle. And the pitch is on the way. And that one's going to be hit. Line drive down the first base line. That's going to be fair. That's back towards the fence. That's going to get past the fence. Runner's going to score from second. Here comes Williams to third, and they're going to hold her up at third base. And that is a triple for Allie Williams, and she does get an RBI along with that. A nice piece of hitting there for Allie Williams. And that'll bring up Isabella Schrager, the catcher, to the plate, who on the day has struck out and reached on an error, hit over the third base side. On the year, she's batting .272 with 4 RBIs and 2 doubles. That was a good piece of hitting from Williams, rather. She kind of drilled that one down the first base line, and just a blind drive, and it just kept rolling, and it rolled almost past the fence over there. Right fielder Lily Hodges had to chase that one almost to Route 238. Nice job by Hendershot there on the first pitch. It was a ball. It almost got past Hendershot. She was able to get her body in front of it, though, and not allow Williams from third to score. So it's 10-0 Oakfield now. They're 2 runs away from that magic run rule number where if they go up by 12, that means if Attica couldn't score in the bottom of this inning, that'd be ball game. Dominesi's pitch on the way. That one is popped up out of play into the railroad tracks. And one of the dads who's been hanging up there all game long will have to corral that one back. Top of the 5th inning. We have a 1-1 count here. Dominesi gets ready in the circle. And the 1-1 offering on the way. That one's going to be hit down the third base line. It'll roll foul. And the count's going to be 1-2. On deck for Oakfield is Emma Moeller, the right fielder, a junior. Dominesi gets the pitch call from Hendershot in the circle. And Dominesi ready. The offering on the way. That one misses high, and the count will go to 2-2. You know, every team has a different way they call in pitches. Some teams have codes. Some teams have little hand signals. Some teams have a word that someone in the dugout might call out. Attica so far, you can see the coacher sits on a bucket, and she gives a call to her catcher, and the catcher gives that call to the pitcher. Here's the 2-2. That one popped up shallow right field. It's going to trend foul. It's going to drop foul, and the count will stay 2-2. Yeah, that's Attica's. And, you know, some teams just let their catchers, they trust their catcher to make the right call. But Attica, they have, with a younger team, too. You have an 8th grade pitcher with a 9th grade catcher right now. Coach Kocher is giving those signals to her catcher, Hendershot, and Hendershot is letting the pitcher know through a series of hand signals. A little interesting tidbit there if you're into that side of the game. Dominesi is in the circle. She's ready. Here's the 2-2 offering. That one misses a bit high, and the count's going to run full. Nobody out. Runner on third base. Oakfield leads 10-0. Dominesi ready. Gets the call. Payoff pitch on the way. That one's hit right back to her. It's going to sneak into the outfield. Williams will score from third base, and that will get Schrager over to first. She's going to go to second after a bad throw in, and she will reach second base, and they're going to hold her up over at second base. And that'll be credited a single, and she reached second on a throwing error from the outfield. And time is going to be called. Coach Kocher is going to go out and talk to her 8th grade pitcher, Tessa Dominesi. And they're going to take a moment here. We'll see if she stays in the game. I did see Attica's warming up another pitcher behind their dugout. I don't know if they plan to go with a third pitcher. That'd be pretty uncommon in softball games. You know, softball's not like baseball. If you're unfamiliar, I know this is pretty new to WBTA. I don't know if we've ever broadcasted softball. I know we haven't in minimum of the last 15 years. But it's... by the way, we were supposed to do a few games earlier this year. Mother Nature was not on our side. But as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, I love softball. I think it's more entertaining than baseball. I'm so glad we're doing some softball this year. And it's fun to be out here. But if you're unfamiliar a little bit, there are a few tendencies. We've kind of gone over this game that are a bit different. But it looks like that mound visit is over, and we're going to get back to play here. So, yeah, at the plate, it's going to be Emma Moeller, the junior right fielder. And one of the differences, too, if you're unfamiliar, is you cannot get a leadoff before the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. That one by Moeller, line drive, is going to be hit right to the shortstop, fielded cleanly. Nice play over there by Alyssa Elmore. And And that's the first out of the inning. That was a well-struck ball by Moeller, but Johnny on the spot, Alyssa Elmore over there, made a nice grab, and that's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the 9-batter, Tori Davis, who's 2 for 2 on the game with a single and an RBI triple. Davis playing a nice game so far for Oakfield. Dominassi gets ready in the circle. And the pitch is on the way. And that one misses high. The count goes 1-0. Runner on second, 1 out. Yeah, that reminds me of the point it kind of left me, but pitchers in softball can pitch every single game. They can pitch every inning. The motion you use to pitch a softball isn't as damaging to your elbow and your shoulder like a baseball is. So you have the baseball throw, you throw overhand is the 1-0. That one is popped up left field, and it's going to drop fair. That's a base hit. They're going to send the runner from second home. And Schramm's going to score from second base, and that will be a double for Tori Davis. And she's now a home run short of the cycle. So Tori Davis, a home run short of the cycle. I don't know if she's going to get a chance to hit it because Oakfield leads 12-0 now, but certainly a great day over there for Tori Davis. And that'll bring up Riley Denny to the plate, who's 2 for 2 with two singles on the day, rather. First pitch on the way from Dominassi. That one swung on and missed. Count goes 0-1. To finish up that point, though, so pitcher in softball can pitch every game, and the really good teams will throw their pitcher every game, and they don't tire like a baseball pitcher might. It's not damaging to the arm like it might be for a baseball pitcher, and that's why, when you have a pitching change in softball, it's pretty uncommon. If you had multiple in the same game, that's really uncommon, as that one misses high, and the count goes to 1-1. And, yeah, if you saw more than one pitching change in a softball game, especially at the high school level, that's just something you don't normally see. So 12-0 Oakfield leads after the double from Tori Davis. And the 1-1 misses a little bit high. The count will go to 2-1. There's 1 out. Due up for Oakfield is the top of the order. Dominassi gets ready in the circle. And the 2-1 offering on the way. That one's going to be popped up towards the railroad tracks, and that will go foul. The count will even up at 2-2. If you're Attica, you'd really like to retire the 10-batter for Oakfield before you have to deal with the top of the order again. Although I will say the top of the order has had issues hitting today. It's really been the bottom of the order in this game for Oakfield that's been getting the base hits. Here's the 2-2. That one's hit to second base. Throw to first is in time, and that'll be the second out of the inning. That did advance Davis over to third, so it'll be a sacrifice hit for Denny nonetheless. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Savannah Durham. And Durham batting .467 on the season, having an uncharacteristic day right now, though. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. She would like to change her luck a little bit here in this at-bat. And that one misses low and inside, and the count will go to 1-0. But yeah, looking at the first 4 batters for Oakfield, the first 4 batters today for Oakfield, they are actually a combined 3 for 10 in this game. It's been the bottom of the order for Oakfield that's really been getting the runs and base hits. That one misses a little high. The count goes to 2-0. And that's just kind of, it's part of the reason why I think Oakfield's ranked number 1 in the state right now, because even if the top of the order is not hitting for Oakfield, they have such a deep team. 1 through 10, they can get hits, if you heard on this broadcast. And today, even though the top of the order struggled, I just mentioned 3 for 10 as that one's fouled out. The count will go to 2-1. It's been 3 for 10 hitting for the top of the order. However, the bottom 3 batters for Oakfield, they're a combined 7 for 9. So, I mean, it's really just, you want to talk about a complete team. That is absolutely what Oakfield is. There's 2 outs and a 2-1 count to Savannah Durham with a runner on third base. It's Dominassi's pitch. That one catches the inside edge, and the count will go 2-2. And Durham, as I mentioned, a frustrating day at the plate, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, looking to change her luck a little bit here. Dominassi set. And the 2-2 offering on the way. Swung on and missed. And for the 4th time today, Durham goes down. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Oakfield leads 12-0. Attica has to score a run to keep this game going. We'll be back in 60 seconds on WBTA.
If you care to cover, we cover with care. Sterling tents and awnings. for quality service and integrity. Sterling tents and awnings. No event is too big or small. For over 100 years, we do it all. If you care to cover, we cover with care. Sterling tents and awnings.
Hungry Batavia? Make it fresh at your local Batavia area Subway. From classic footlongs to 6-inch subs to wraps and salads, every order is made just the way you like it. With freshly baked bread, crisp veggies, and bold flavors, those combinations are endless. Short on time? Order ahead with the Subway app for easy pickup or delivery. Lunch, dinner, or feeding an entire troop, Subway has got you covered. Fresh, fast, and made for you. That's your local Batavia area Subway.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High School, where the gray skies have disappeared. We're back to blue skies and a beautiful afternoon here at Attica High School as we are here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. As we are here in the bottom of the fifth inning, Oakfield leads Attica 12-0 right now, and if Oakfield can get 3 outs without Attica scoring, they will win this game, as that would be the run rule. Durham, ready in the circles, pitched a gem so far. That one misses high. The count goes to 1-0. And Attica has made a substitution. It's supposed to be Rachel Ricketson batting right now, but they have subbed in their sophomore Briley Pachaki, and she is now at the plate for Attica. So we're going to get a look here at the first time of the game at Pachaki. That one swung on and missed, and the count will go to 1-1. But yeah, Durham, I mentioned, she struck out 4 times today at the plate, but in the circle, she has been her usual dominant self. So I'm sure she's frustrated with the plate, but she can take some solace in knowing she's pitched a gem. That one swung on and missed. The count's now 1-2. Just once again, this game will end if Attica cannot score a run this inning. Durham gets the call from Schrager. Gets ready in the circle. And the 1-2 pitch, that one's going to be fouled into the backstop, and the count will be 1-2. So I talked a little bit about Attica's system of communicating their pitches from their coach to their catcher to their pitcher. Oakfield, from what I can see, I think they let Schrager call the pitches for Durham. Here's the 1-2 offering on the way. That one misses low and in the dirt. Pachaki watches it goes by, and it'll be 2-2. So 12-0, Oakfield leads. And yeah, Coach Schlegenhoff's talking to his catcher. I don't. There could be some secret codes in there to communicate the pitches. The coaches are really sneaky with that type of stuff. As here's the 2-2. That one swung on and missed, and that will be the first out of the inning. But to that point, so I do think they're letting Schrager call him, and maybe every now and then they call something in from the dugout. But that just kind of shows you the difference in the ways the teams do this. That will bring up the 9-batter for Attica, Tessa Dominesi, who started the game in left field and ended up in the circle. First pitch on the way to her, swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-1, and Dominesi's lone at-bat of the game. She went down swinging. With 1 out here, Attica desperately needs her to get on base to keep this game going. Durham gets ready in the circle. The 0-1 offering on the way. That one's hit nicely. It's going to drop for a base hit in shallow center field. Dominesi gets a 1-out single, and a nice piece of hitting there for Attica. That was a nice line drive she put right into the gap. So that is a single. Now that will bring up the top of the order for Attica, and we'll get our third look of the game at the center fielder, Laurel Cias, a freshman on the game. Cias 0 for 2, grounded out to second base in her first at-bat, went down swinging in her last one. It looks like Attica's going to use a pinch runner here, courtesy runner for their pitcher, Dominesi. They're going to bring in Grace Myers, a senior, and she will get some action in this game. She'll go over to first base for the Blue Devils. So now we'll get our look here at Cias. And here's the first pitch on the way. That one misses high. A nice job over there by Schrager, keeping the runner on first honest. Here's the 1-0 on the way. That one's hit right to second base, and that gets past Rain Denny's glove. They're going to keep Myers on second base, and they're going to keep Cius on first base. So with one out, Attica's got runners on first and second. They got a runner in scoring position, and they are going to the meat of their order now. They're 2, 3, and 4 batters. That'll bring up the second batter, the freshman catcher, number 23, Allison Hendershot, who's 0 for 2 on the game, grounded out to second and also grounded out to the pitcher in this one. But if she could just score that runner over on second base, she'd keep this game going for the Blue Devils. That one swung on and missed. The count goes to 0-1. Durham got her to chase at something high. Durham ready in the circle. And the 0-1 on the way. That one misses inside. That does get past Schrager, and that will advance the runners to second and third. And all right, Attica with runners in second and third now. If they can just get that runner from third home, we'll keep playing ball here from Attica High School. Durham ready in the circle. That one's going to be fouled, and it will go into the backstop. And the count will be 1-2. 1 out. Runners on second and third. Oakfield leads 12-0. 12 runs is the run rule. Attica looking to keep this going with their last couple of outs. Durham ready in the circle. And the 1-2 on the way. That one's going to be hit softly down the third baseline. Fielded by Harkness. Throw to first is in time. And the runner is not going to go home, but the runner did try to go to second. And both runners will get back safely for Attica. So I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Cius was trying to go to third. She was basically standing at third base. The runner over on third, Myers, never went. And thankfully, Oakfield was so worried about Myers, they never really noticed Cius. She got safely back to second. But now there's 2 outs, runners on second and third, and that will bring up Haley Mills, the girl who started the game in the circle, and she ended up on first base after getting pulled from pitching duties. She's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. First pitch to her misses low for a ball. Any sort of base hit likely keeps this game going for Attica. It's the 0-1 on the way from Durham. That one misses high, and here comes the runner home. They're going to send Myers, and she'll get home, and we'll keep playing ball here from Attica High School. There will be no run rule in the 5th inning. So Attica gets that run, and we'll keep things going here. So Myers is able to score on the passed ball, and now it's a 2-0 count to Haley Mills. Durham ready in the circle, and that one misses low, and the count will go to 3-0. I think the first time all game we've seen Durham get in a 3-0 situation. Durham ready in the circle. Here's the 3-0. That one's hit right back to her. That'll get into the outfield. That'll score Cius over at third base, and that will be an RBI single for Haley Mills. And that will now bring up the cleanup hitter for Attica, number 24, Alyssa Elmore, who's 1 for 2 in the game with a ground out to short and a single. A runner on first base. 2 outs. First pitch on the way to her. Swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-1. You got to like the resolve in the fight here from the Blue Devils. You know, I mean, they're down 12-0, but they find a way to get 2 runs and, you know, at least for pride, not get mercy ruled, make this 12-2. And here's a throw down to first from the catcher Schrager. Not in time. Mills is back safely. I lost track of the count. They're not keeping the count on the scoreboard, so we'll get back to that in a moment. And here's the pitch. That one misses high. And I believe the count is 2-1. In this inning, I will say, though, the control, it's 3-0. It's 3-0, rather. Yeah, the control for Durham's got away from her a little bit here in this inning. Here's the 3-0 on the way. That one right down Broadway for a strike, and the count will go to 3-1. Nice pitch there from Durham. With your cleanup hitter up, if you're Attica, though, you'd really like to see Elmore do something for you here. It's the 3-1 on the way. That one catches the outside corner, and the count runs full. Nice job battling back from Durham in the circle after going down 3-0. Full count. Runner on first, 2 down. Elmore versus Durham. Who wins the battle here in the bottom of the 5th? Payoff offering on the way. That one misses low, and she'll walk Elmore. So now runners on first and second with 2 outs, and that will bring up to the plate the 5 batter for Attica, Lily Scripp, the third baseman. Scripp 1 for 2 on the day with a single and reached on an error hit over to second base. Durham gets the call from Schrager in the circle. I keep wanting to say on the mound. Once again, these are new to us at WBTA softball games. That one swung on a miss. Count goes to 0-1. Once again, we have some more softball coming up. Tomorrow we'll actually be live from Leroy High School as Geneseo and Leroy play at 4:30 in a softball game. And I just love doing softball. We're going to be doing a lot of softball and sectionals and down the stretch here. It's going to be a lot of fun. That one gets past Scribb, and that will go to 0-2. So Durham gets way ahead in this count. It's 0-2. Runners on first and second. Oakfield leads 12-2. 0-2 offering on the way. Swung on and missed. That'll be the third out of the inning. So Attica, they score 2 runs rather that inning, and they keep this game going. Oakfield was on the edge of the run rule, but Attica with 2 runs, we're going to play a 6th inning. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. We'll be right back here on WBTA.
Feral Gas is turning up the heat this season with everyday low prices. Get the dependable service you need with residential delivery options to your home by the nation's most reliable propane provider. Feral Gas is also trusted by thousands of businesses, both big and small. Just need gas for your grill? They're happy to fill you up at 655 Ellicott Street in Batavia. Now is the time to join the winning team. To learn more and check pricing, log on to feralgas.com.
Genesee, your path with GCC. GCC offers the #1 value for a community college in Western New York, with 75-plus academic programs that are transferable too. Hands-on training in our state-of-the-art labs, including the new Advanced Manufacturing and Skilled Trades Lab, plus on-campus student housing. Registration is now open. Apply for free online at genesee.edu/apply.
And welcome back, my friend. Attica High Schools, we're here for a Genesee Region League matchup between the Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zaller. You're listening to a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports Production. We are here in the top of the 6th inning. Oakfield leads 12-2. And Attica, though, they've avoided the mercy rule to make this a little interesting here. Due up for Oakfield will be their 2, 3, and 4 batters, starting with Chloe Lamb. Lamb just having a remarkable season here for Oakfield as the first pitch is on the way to her from Dominesi. Hit down the third base line, and that's going to be fair. Throw to first in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So that's going to be a nice play over at third base. That's Lily Scripp made a nice catch and throw over there. So, and it's funny, the top of the order for Oakfield just has not gotten a lot of hits today. For Lamb, she's now 1 for 4 in the game. That'll bring up Allison Harkness, who is 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. First pitch to her. That one's hit down the third base line. Fielded by Scripp. Throw to first in time. And a quick 1-2 bang-bang outs here for Attica. And that will now bring up the cleanup hitter for Oakfield, Rain Denny. Rain Denny on the day. She is 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a ground out to short. Dominesi pitching to contact right now in the circle for Attica, and it's working effectively. First pitch catches the outside corner to Denny, and the count will go to 0-1. So Attica, if they can get out of this, we'll play a complete game. We'll go 7 if Attica can keep this going. Next pitch just misses a little bit low. Can't quite get that outside corner, and the count will go 1-1. Dominesi gets the call from her catcher, Hendershot. And the 1-1 misses a little bit low, and the count will go to 2-1. So Dominesi. I will say, too, Dominesi has only given up 4 runs in the 3 innings of work. I think it's 4 innings after this inning. And that pitch, that'll miss a little bit high, and the count will go to 3-1. But yeah, Dominesi, I think she entered in, it was the 3rd inning. It's now the 6th inning. It was 8-0 when she entered the game. And I say for an 8th grade pitcher, not a ton of velocity on Dominesi, but she's putting the ball in the strike zone. She has 2 different pitches I've seen her throw. And here's the 3-1 on the way. That one is hit softly towards short, fielded cleanly by Elmore. Throw to first, not in time, a little wide of Mills, and that's going to send Rain Denny to second base. They're going to send Rain Denny to third base, and Denny will be held up at third where she is safe. That's a single and a throwing error from Elmore. And that will now bring up the 5 batter for Oakfield, Emma Thompson, who has had an interesting game. She's 1 for 2 on the day with a single. She reached on an error to second base. She's also been hit by a pitch in this game, and she will enter the game now with a runner on third base. Actually, it looks like that's a substitution. I believe Oakfield has brought in a substitution for Thompson, and yeah, that's Kaylee Merkel now in the game. So we're going to get to see Merkel for the first time today, as she has entered the game for Thompson. There's 2 outs and a runner on third. I'll get the stats pulled up for Merkel real quick. But first, Dominesi ready in the circle. And first pitch swung on and missed by Merkel. But on the season for Merkel, she's only had 3 at-bats up to this point, but she's 1 for 3 in her 3 at-bats. So, I mean, that's batting .333. You can't really complain about that. Dominesi ready in the circle. And the 0-1 offering on the way. That one catches the outside edge. The count goes 0-2. But, yeah, for Dominesi to finish that point, though, just an 8th grader playing a team that's ranked number 1 in the state in Class D. She's only given up 4 runs over 4 innings of work. I'm impressed with the way Dominesi's pitched. If it was only an 8th grader, she has some time to work on her game. Here's the 0-2. That one's popped up right towards Dominesi. Makes the grab with the glove hand out, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. Nice play there from the pitcher. So, Oakfield, they get 1 hit and retire and leave 1 runner on base, and they lead 12-2. And we're going to play a 7th inning here at Attica. All right, we're going to take a 60-second timeout. We'll be back here on WBTA.
Wheatville Blacksmith Tree Service for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding. They do good work. Wheatville Tree takes pride in every job and leaves your yard clean. In fact, you will hardly even notice that they were there, except the tree is gone. With the all-access lift, Wheatville Tree can get to some jobs the other places can't. Wheatville Blacksmith Tree Service. Call 356-0980. Make that problem tree history.
There are 2 things you learn quickly growing up in a small town. The importance of a good last name, and that a good reputation is not freely given, but earned and built over time. It's a rare thing to have the opportunity to build on the legacy of one of those great names, and we couldn't be prouder to share it with you. Turnbull Heating and Air is that great name, and we are determined to make it the most reliable and trusted name that you can turn to when it comes to the peace of mind and comfort of your home. So give us a call today and allow us the privilege to earn your business the way that you deserve. And remember, in every season, turn to Turnbull.
See Turnbull.
And welcome back here to WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy. My name's Pete Zaller. We're here live at Attica High School with a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. It's 12-2, bottom of the 6th inning right now, and Attica looking to continue to chip into this thing. At the plate right now for Attica is their 6th hitter in the order, Corinne Orlowski, who on the day is 0 for 1. She has a sacrifice hit as well as a strikeout. Playing over at first, started the game at first base. She's been moved to left field after Haley Mills was pulled from the circle and moved to first. That one is drilled right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Here comes Orlowski rounding first. They're going to send her to second, and they're going to hold her up at second, and that's a leadoff double for Orlowski. And I got to say, I really do respect the way that here in this game that Attica, they've played with some resolve. They have not really, it didn't go their way. They had a hard time scoring runs. They went down 12-0, but they aren't playing like a team that's down 12-0. They've refused to let this game just get completely away from them, and they've seemed to really find their stride as the game goes on. So that'll now bring up to the plate Lily Hodges. Hodges on the game, 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout, playing over in right field, just a sophomore Hodges is. Durham ready in the circle. That one misses high. I believe the count is now 2-0. Don't quote me on that. Missed the first pitch. I thought it was a ball, though. So runner on second base. Nobody out here. Bottom of the 6th inning for Attica. Yeah, playing against an excellent team. They've seemed to kind of crack Durham's coat a little bit as this one's went along. That one hit down the first base line. Going to drop foul. I believe that makes the count 2-1. But, yeah, certainly, they've hit a lot better as this game's gone along. And, that's the thing. Right now they're going through their third time in the order. And whenever you see a pitcher for the third time, that's things get a little easier. As you've seen it a few times, you know what to expect. The count is actually 2-2. I stand corrected. Here's the 2-2 offering on the way. That one misses inside. The count will run full. Orlowski over on second base getting a pretty decent leadoff there. Once again, in softball, you cannot get a leadoff until after the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. But there's still some gamesmanship to be played, and she's getting a decent lead. That one misses low, and Hodges will work a walk. She'll take her base over at first. So nobody out. Attica now with runners on first and second. This will bring up the 8 and 9 batters for Attica. And we'll see. I believe Attica made a substitution. I want to say it was Briley Pachaki came into the game, I believe, for Rachel Ricketson. Waiting to see who comes out of the dugout. And no, that will be Ricketson. So Ricketson has re-entered the game. She's come back in for Pachaki. And Ricketson's going to show bunt, and she can't get the ball on it. It's going to go underneath the bat, and the count will go to 0-1. On the day for Ricketson, she's gone down swinging twice. Durham ready. 0-1, showing bunt, gets the bunt down, but it's going to roll foul. And the count will go to 0-2. And now for Ricketson, she's no longer going to be able to bunt, and she's going to have to swing at this 0-2 pitch. Well, doesn't have to swing at it, but with an 0-2 count, it's very unlikely we see her lay down a bunt anymore. Durham ready in the circle. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Misses high, and the count will go 1-2. I like the pitch there from Durham. She's trying to get Ricketson to chase something high with a big lead in the count. Couldn't fool Ricketson on that one, though. The count goes 1-2. Durham ready. Here's the 1-2. That one swung on and missed, and Ricketson goes down for the first out of the inning. So with one out, runners on first and second. That'll bring up the 8th grader Tessa Dominesi to the plate. On the day, Dominesi 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a big single in her last at-bat that kind of started the rally, per se, for Attica. First pitch on the way to her misses outside. Pitch is dropped, though, by Schrager, and runners will advance. So the runners from first and second will get over to second and third on the dropped pitch. So the count's 1-0 for Dominesi. Durham gets ready in the circle. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. That one swung on and missed, and the count goes 1-1. And just way ahead of that one, Dominesi was. You could tell she wanted it, but I think that was a little off-speed pitch there from Durham, and Dominesi chased. Durham gets set. And here's the 1-1 pitch. That one catches the outside corner of the plate, and the count will go to 1-2. Or excuse me, that was actually the strikeout. That was actually the third strike. My apologies, I missed a strike in there. And that was the second out of the inning. So Dominesi goes down swinging, and we're back to the top of the order. That'll bring up Laurel Cias, the center fielder, who was 1 for 3 on the day with a single, a strikeout, and a ground out to second. First pitch to her. Misses just a smidge low, and the count is 1-0. So 2 outs, runners on second and third. Oakfield leads 12-2. Attica, though, trying to tag on some pride runs here at the end. You never know what's going to happen. That one misses in the dirt, and it does not get past the catcher. Beautiful snag there from Schrager. And that's going to keep Attica from scoring a run. If that got past her, that absolutely would have scored the run at third. So nice catch there. Here we go. That one's hit by Cias right to the first baseman, Williams. Fields it, touches her own, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So Attica leaves 2 runners stranded. Oakfield leads 12-2. We're going to the top of the 7th inning. We're going to play a complete game here from Attica High School. We'll be back in 60 seconds on WBTA.
T.F. Browns in Batavia knows that today's children are tomorrow's future. So from the days of Little League all the way to high school, T.F. Browns supports all areas of athletics and academics. Supporting our children gives them the confidence they need to become successful members of our community. Encouraging our children can make all the difference in the world for them. T.F. Browns, supporting our community the way the community has supported us.
When it's time to think about a pre-owned car or truck, it's time to visit Ken Barrett Chevrolet Cadillac. Ken Barrett has the finest selection of locally owned trades and hand-picked auction vehicles, always priced below Kelley Blue Book. You should expect that from your dealer. To help you make that purchase possible, their expert staff specializes in securing the most favorable financing terms available. Ken Barrett Chevrolet Cadillac, West Main Street, Batavia, 344-1000, and on the web, KenBarrettAutos.com.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High Schools. We are here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. My name's Pete Zaller. This is WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy Sports Production. And we are here, top of the seventh inning. Oakfield leads this one 12-2. Attica has avoided the run rule, though, and they have kept things going. Due up for Oakfield is their 6, 7, and 8 batters, although it looks like Allie Williams, who was originally batting sixth, they have subbed her out for the junior, Chantel Fluitt. So we're going to look here at Fluitt for the first time this game. Dominesi ready in the circle for Attica. First pitch on the way. Drilled down the first base line. That'll sneak fair. So Fluitt gets on with a leadoff single, and that puts a runner on base immediately for Oakfield. Nice piece of hitting right there. That'll now bring up the catcher, the 7 batter here for Oakfield, Isabella Schrager, who on the day is 1 for 3. She struck out, reached on an error over to third, and also hit a single. To the point of Dominesi, though, I kind of got cut off by the last inning ending. In the circle, though, she's just been accurate. She has 2 different pitches I've seen, the fastball and a little off speed. As there's the fastball. That one catches the inside corner for a strike. 0-1 to Schrager. But, not a ton of velocity, but she's only an 8th grader. She has a lot of time to work on that. If she can get that up, and, she has really good control. I could see this young lady being a very good pitcher for many years to come for Attica. Here's the 0-1 on the way. That one's hit right over to short. Does get past the glove of Elmore into the outfield, and that will be a single for Schrager. Second hit of the day there for Isabella Schrager. And that'll bring up the 8 batter for Oakfield, Emma Moeller. On the day for Moeller, she's 1 for 3 with a single. Popped out twice, once over to shortstop, once to the mound. On the year for Moeller, batting .304 with 3 RBIs, 3 steals. And, if your 8 batter in the order is batting .304, you're pretty happy as a coach. That one is pelted into right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. They're going to send the runner from second home. Runner from first is going to round second. They're going to hold her up at third base, and Oakfield will score a run and have runners on the corner. So Fluitt will score, and they're going to move Schrager over to third, and that is a single for Emma Moeller, who's having a good day. So that brings up Tori Davis to the plate, and Davis on the day has a single, a double, and a triple, and I'm superstitious, so I won't say what that means, but if you know ball, you know what she could do here. That'd be pretty special in this at-bat. So we'll see what Davis can do here with the runners on the corners. And runner from first thinks about going. Moeller's going to hold up at first base, though. First pitch, I believe, got in there for a strike. I was kind of looking over at the runner on first. I'm not sure if that was a strike for certain. Dominesi set in the circle. Here's the pitch on the way, and that one's a dribbler down the third base line. That will sneak into the outfield for a base hit. That will score Schrager from third. That will advance Moeller to second, and that is a single for Tori Davis, who's having a fine day. So the thing I wouldn't say is if she hit a home run, that would have been for the cycle. Unfortunately, well, I won't say unfortunately, she's 4 for 4 on the day, a very good day for Tori Davis, but a little bit of history there will not be made on that at-bat. And that will bring up for Oakfield, that will bring up their 10 batter, and it looks like they have subbed out of the game Riley Denny, who was batting 10th. And they have now brought into the game Brooke Schramm. And we'll get a look at Schramm, one of the few seniors here. I talked about Attica being a young team. Oakfield's a pretty young team, too, in terms of seniors. Oakfield, well, Schramm's the only senior on the team for Oakfield, if that wants to tell you how young they are, and Schramm wasn't in the starting lineup. So, just a young team. As Dominesi gets ready in the circle for Schramm. First pitch on the way, misses low and in the dirt. Good stop there by Hendershot behind home plate. Count goes to 1-0. Runners on first and second, nobody down. Here in the top of the 7th inning. On the season for Schramm, she has 2 at-bats, 1 hit, batting .500 on the season. That one swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-1. I want to thank Oakfield coach Jeff Schlagenhoff for giving me all the stats for this game. It's hard to find stats for spring sports, especially softball. But I was able to talk to Coach Schlagenhoff on Facebook Messenger earlier today, and he sent me all their paper stats kept by hand. As that one swung on and missed, the count will go to 1-2. But I really do appreciate that. It gives me a lot more to talk about during the game. So it's a 1-2 count. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Dominesi would love to get Schramm out here. Schramm at the plate awaits the 1-2 pitch. Hendershot gives the call to Dominesi. Dominesi set in the circle. And the 1-2 offering on the way. That one's going to be fouled off to the railroad track here at Attica High School. And the count will remain 1-2. If you're just tuning in, Oakfield, Alabama leads this game 14-2 over the Attica Blue Devils. Rain did threaten us at one point. The skies got real dark and gray, but fortunately those clouds have meandered away, and it's back to blue skies and fun times here at Attica High School. Here's the 1-2. That one misses a little high. The count will be evened up at 2-2. Nice take there from Schramm. Was not fooled by that pitch from Dominesi. Dominesi gets the call from Hendershot. And the 2-2 offering on the way. That one, Schramm barely gets a piece of it. It's going to foul it off, and the count will remain 2-2. Nice battle right now between Schramm and Dominesi. Due up for Oakfield will be the top of the order. And the top of the order looking for a little redemption today for Oakfield, as it has not been a good hitting day for the top of Oakfield's order. And here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Schramm goes down swinging, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up the lead-up batter for Oakfield, Savannah Durham, who's having an excellent season, batting .467 with 9 RBIs and a home run, 2 triples, 4 steals. But today has not been Durham's day. She's 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. A rare performance at the plate for her. And she'd like to correct that with a hit here. Here's the first pitch to Durham. That one's fouled off into the backstop. Count will go 0-1. Yeah, Durham obviously batting .467, normally an excellent batter. This might be the only time in her life I would be willing to bet this is the first time in her life, if you count travel ball, if you count Little League, probably the first time she's ever went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. But she's going to look to correct that here. Here's the 0-1 on the way. That one catches the outside corner, and the count goes 0-2. So Durham behind in the count now. Dominesi gets ready on the hill. And here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. And for the 5th time this game, Durham strikes out in a rare performance for her. And that'll bring up Chloe Lamb, who is batting .724 on the year, but similarly to Durham, it's not been her day either. She is 1 for 4 in this game with a single and 2 pop-outs, 1 ground out, but batting .724 on the year. It's hard to give too much critique there with 13 RBIs and 5 doubles. 2 outs, runners on first and second. First pitch to her, misses outside. That will get past Hendershot, and the runners will advance to second and third from first and second. And so it's now 1-0. So yeah, Lamb having just a remarkable season. I mean, batting .724, she's going to be in contention for Genesee Region League Player of the Year, but today, much like a lot of the top of the order here for Oakfield, has had a hard time against this Attica pitching. Dominesi set in the circle, and the 1-0 misses a little high, and the count will go to 2-0. 2 runners in scoring position here. If Lamb can get a piece of it, she could pad this lead a little bit for Oakfield. Dominesi ready in the circle. 2-0, misses low. That will get past Hendershot. Runner from third's going to come home, and she will score. And that's Emma Moeller. She scores, and that will advance the runner from second over to third base. So 15-2 is now the lead for Oakfield, Alabama. And the count is now, I believe, 3-0 for Chloe Lamb. So Dominesi gets the call from Hendershot. Into the stretch. And the 3-0 offering misses in the dirt. That one, nice job. Hendershot kept it in front of her, but that will advance Lamb to first base. So Lamb works a walk, and that will now bring up Allison Harkness to the plate. Harkness on the day, 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Grounded out to second, grounded out to third, and her 2 outs. On the season, though, batting .482 with 11 RBIs and 4 doubles. Harkness kind of... well, here's the pitch on the way. That one's going to be drilled down the first base line. It's going to go foul, though. Harkness was kind of the point guard on the basketball team. That changed about halfway through the year when they brought up I'm drawing a blank right now. Hadley Hicks, when they brought up Hadley Hicks, she kind of took over the point guard duties. But nonetheless, Harkness was an excellent scorer for the basketball team. I believe one of the top 3 scorers on the team, was a good ball handler, very good three-point shooter, and that team went to a sectional championship game. And here in softball, batting .482, it's very apparent she's a great multi-sport athlete. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way, misses high, and the count will go to 1-1. So runners on the corners for Allison Harkness. It's a 1-1 count, 2 outs here, top of the 7th inning. Oakfield leads 15-2 in a game that will go the distance. It's the 1-1. That one is going to be hit right to second base, and nice job sticking with it over at second base, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. Nice play over there. That was Rachel Ricketson. She was able to keep her glove on that, fumbled it at first, got back on it though, made the throw to first, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So we will go to the bottom of the 7th inning with Oakfield leading Attica 15-2. Don't turn that dial. Stay right here. We'll be back in 60 seconds on WBTA.
Are you looking for collectibles? How about equipment or building materials? Planning to relocate or unsure what to do with an estate? Bontrager Real Estate and Auction Services, they're here to help. Family owned and operated since 1935, they host over 100 auctions every year, anywhere from central New York to the PA border. Bontrager also offers full-service real estate as well as real estate auctions and estate sales. Visit bontrager.com for all their upcoming events and services.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, go to Chaps Alba Diner, where everything is homemade. They take pride in making everything fresh, from their homemade pies like apple cherry, red raspberry, to their open-faced Reuben and juicy 12-ounce New York strip steak. You can count on homemade goodness. Stop in today and enjoy all the great food at Chaps Alba Diner. Takeout available. They are located on Main Street in Alba, and everything is homemade.
And welcome back, my friend, to Attica High Schools. We are here for a Genesee Region League softball matchup between the visiting Oakfield, Alabama Hornets and the home Attica Blue Devils. Pete Zaller here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Oakfield leads this game 15-2 here on WBTA, 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in Leroy. And we are here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Should be the last half inning of the game. Oakfield has made a pitching change. They have brought in the right-handed pitcher, Allison Harkness, onto the mound. I know Oakfield has 3 pitchers they like a lot. Harkness is one of them. I'm not sure if she's the 2nd or 3rd they go to, but nonetheless, I know Durham's their ace, and Harkness is either the 2nd or 3rd pitcher in their rotation of pitchers they use. First pitch on the way. That one gets in there for a strike. Count will go to 0-1. At the plate right now for Attica, looks like they have Allison Hendershot, the catcher, batting 2nd in the order. Hendershot 0 for 3 on the day. Harkness ready in the circle. And the 0-1 on the way. Misses. Count will go to 1-1. You know, Harkness a lot taller than Durham was, and it's a stark difference, and that will make a difference for a batter. Just comes out of the hand kind of in a different way, at a different location. It's going to be an adjustment here for Hendershot and company. Here's the 1-1. That one's hit over to short, fielded, throw to first in time. That's the 1st out of the inning. And that's Savannah Durham over at shortstop. She was in the circle. They've moved her over to short. They've moved Emma Thompson from short over to 3rd, and Allison Harkness into the circle. So nice play from Durham over there, who had a fine game pitching today. Only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings of work and struck out about 8 batters, I believe. So that will bring up the 3 batter for Attica, Haley Mills. The junior who started the game in the circle for Attica and got moved to first base after the 3rd inning. That one is belted, but it's going to go out of play to the railroad tracks. Count goes to 0-1. Mills is 1 for 3 on the day. Had a single in her last at-bat that I believe drove in a run for Attica. Harkness set in the circle. The 0-1 on the way. That one gets in there. I don't know, misses a little high, umpire says, and the count will go to 1-1. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Once again, it has turned into a beautiful afternoon here. I mean, just a couple clouds in the sky, all blue skies, probably about 50 degrees. That one misses high. The count will go to 2-1. But yeah, if you don't mind a little bit of a cool breeze and a nice, cool spring day, this is the kind of day for you. No precipitation, beautiful skies. And I talked a little bit to Coach Schleigenoff before the game. That's what he told me. He said, I don't mind it being this cold as long as the skies stay nice and blue. And even though they did go gray for a bit, we're ending with blue skies here, and I'm happy to see that as well. Here's the 2-1. That one's popped up towards first base. Williams gets called off by Rain Denny. Denny gets underneath it. Denny makes the catch. That's the second out of the inning. Nice communication over there from Oakfield. Williams, I thought, she was right underneath it, but Denny had a little bit better angle from over at second base, called Williams off, made the easy catch. So that will bring up now Attica down to their final out. It'll be their cleanup hitter, Alyssa Elmore, the shortstop, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Grounded out to short, struck out, and hit a single in this one. First pitch to her goes right down Broadway for a strike. Count is 0-1. So the Blue Devils down to their last out. Elmore going to have to try to generate a little offense here for Attica. Harkness ready in the circle. The 0-1 goes a little high, and the count will go to 1-1. 1-1 count. Harkness awaits the call. Looks like she's getting the calls from the dugout. I saw her look over at the dugout and definitely got the pitch call from there. Here's the 1-1. That one off speed, misses outside, and the count will go to 2-1. Looked like she tried to go with a little bit of a change-up there, but just 2 outside. Nice movement on the pitch, but not over the plate. So it's 2-2. Harkness set in the circle. Here's the pitch. That one misses high. And I actually think it's 3-1. Yeah, it is 3-1. So 3-1 is the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Attica down to their final out. Harkness set in the circle. 3-1 offering on the way. That one right down Broadway for a strike, and the count runs full. And now Attica down to their final strike of the game. Harkness gets the call from the dugout and gets set in the circle. Into the stretch. Here's the payoff pitch, and that one is hit right towards shortstop, fielded by Durham. Throw to first in time for the third out of the game, and that will do it. Oakfield, Alabama defeats Attica by a score of 15-2, and Oakfield, the number 1 ranked Class D team in New York State, will move to 10-0 on the year with another dominant victory here. And Attica, despite a valiant effort in this game, I had a lot of respect for the way Attica played. I thought they gave a competitive game at large parts here to Oakfield. They will fall to 3-6 on the season. So we're going to transition right into the TF Browns post-game show, where we are going to select our player of the game. Remember, if it happens in sports, it happens at TF Browns. So this game started out a little slower than I kind of expected. Oakfield only scored 3 runs in the first 3 innings, and Attica was actually threatening to score in the second inning. Haley Mills for Attica, I thought she ended up giving up 8 runs by the time she was pulled in the 4th, but I really thought Haley Mills pitched a fine game in this one for Attica. I think she was pulled by Coach Kocher, not because she pitched poorly, but rather I think they wanted to save her arm, as Attica has a lot of games next week and into the weekend. So Attica saved her arm a little bit, pulled her, and coming in was the 8th grader Tessa Dominesi, and Dominesi really pitched well too. Dominesi only ended up giving up 7 runs by the time it was all said and done. But for a 4-inning span, Dominesi only gave up 4 runs to a team that, their average batting average of the team is like 480. So I was pretty impressed by her there. But for Oakfield in the circle, there was no question they were the better team in this game. Savannah Durham pitched a very nice game in the circle for Oakfield. And although the top of the order really struggled to get base hits today for Oakfield, it was the bottom of the order that had a fine game. When it was all said and done, I'm looking here at the bottom of the order for Oakfield. The bottom 3 batters for Oakfield in this game, they ended up going 10 for 12 in this game. Just an impressive performance from the bottom of the order. So we're going to select our player of the game. As I mentioned, Savannah Durham pitched a really nice game today. However, the plate performance wasn't quite there, but still a fine game on the mound, certainly worthy of consideration. Looking at some of these other bats, Riley Denny had a nice game, went 3 for 3 in this one. A good game from her. But player of the game today, I'm going to go with the 9 batter for Oakfield, who went 4 for 4 today. That's the extra player, Tori Davis. The sophomore went 4 for 4. She was a home run short of the cycle, hit a single, a double, and a triple, and had an opportunity to hit for a cycle in the last at-bat of the game, but got a single. But I thought it was an impressive performance from the sophomore, and for that reason, Tori Davis, our TF Browns player of the game. Congratulations to her on her TF Browns gift certificate. That will be delivered to the school sometime next week. And, So Oakfield, number 1 ranked Class D team in the state, they will move to 10-0 on the year. And as I mentioned, I'm sure in sectionals we'll have more of them on WBTA as I fully anticipate them to make a deep run into the postseason. But that'll wrap up things here from Attica. We will have another game tomorrow. I'll be at Leroy High School as Geneseo travels to Leroy in a softball game. Should be a really fun game there. I can't wait to get out there. Those are 2 good teams. Leroy has one of the better pitchers in the area. I think that's going to be a fun game to both watch and broadcast as well. So you won't want to miss that one. That game, first pitch is set for 4:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So on behalf of myself, Pete Zaller, this was a WBTA 100.1 FM, 1490 AM, 106.1 FM in a Leroy Sports production. We'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Take it easy.